City Council meeting. Please turn off cell phone
Oh, hello,
cell
What
phone
is
devices
everybody.
while in the
Cool
chamber.
kids.
And please stand for the pledge of
Hello
allegiance.
to all
Although
our
it's
friends
not
out
single
there.
banner.
If you're here, this is now. I'm on my knee on the floor of my basement. So we'll just wait for them to do the national anthem and Pledge of Allegiance. Maybe they'll do America the Beautiful. Maybe they'll sing a Hamilton song too. Who knows?
Oh, say, can you see?
Is this a recording
It sure sounds that way.
that they like? Do they do the same one every time? I wonder, or do they switch it up?
I mean, we're certainly gonna figure it out by keep watching these things. I don't want to be anti-American, but I am gonna turn it down.
I can't believe you, Travis.
So, what are you looking to see out of tonight's?
You know, I gotta be completely honest with you. I didn't look at the agenda beforehand, so I'm interested to see what any developments from last week are.
Sure.
And maybe the bollards come back.
I think we're gonna see. There's a strong chance to see some bollards.
So that should be pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? That's why we're doing this, is to see what's out there.
Well, we're currently just waiting for Bill to get back. He, of course, he wanted to run away. Lazy Brian.
Yes, Jess, if you were on 2 minutes ago, you would know that I am kneeling on the floor in the basement right now.
Yeah, just go down and look at him.
Just ask
Yeah.
to remain standing. We'll have a moment of silence to Secretary of State Colin Powell.
I'm good with that too. I'm just saying he lied to get us into Iraq. And
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. People forget about that.
Thank you.
Complications due to COVID.
Yeah, he had blood cancer. I don't know if we can pin it all on COVID on this
Okay, we'll
one.
do a roll call.
All right, let's see who's
This is
here.
This is why you should get vaccinated, people, because there's lots of immunocompromised people that
Councilor
you
Bergman here.
that have done war crimes
Councilor
in your
King.
government. You need to
Here.
protect them.
Councilmember Carlson.
Here.
Councilor Rivera.
Here we go.
No, we're
Councilor
currently at a
Rose,
bollard count
here.
of 0.
Councilor Rosen. Here. Councilor Russell. Here. Councilor
I'm
Toomey.
sure that number is going to shoot up
Councilor Wally.
very
Here.
soon.
Can you hear that
Mayor
awful
Petty.
static?
Here.
Yes.
Our next motion is to approve the minutes of
This is
October 5th, 2021.
Matt Wally's brain causing
Those in favor?
interference.
Oh, there
Opposed?
goes.
Computer brain.
Okay.
It'll work criminal.
Okay, so we have public participation. A person may speak for no more than 2 minutes on any item appearing on the agenda. Now, Councilor Russell and some people want to speak who's not on the agenda, so we're going to allow one person to speak for the buses and bus monitors, transportation. And so the motion is to suspend the rules to allow them to speak, one person. All those in favor? Opposed? So ordered. This your name and city of residence?
So this is
Turn that
the
mic on.
representative.
We got to get that mic turned on.
For the last 18 years. And I have a little note that I'd like to read that was prepared. And it's for all the esteemed Worcester City Council members. It has come to our attention that the council is looking to use some of the funds of the American Rescue Plan Act to pay certain essential employees that worked during the pandemic a $5,000 bonus. We agree that certain city employees deserve such a bonus, but we are also disappointed that this does not include certain education support professionals, ESPs, that are members of the Educational Association of Worcester, which is our union.
All right.
The
Welcome
transportation
back,
employees
Bill.
Of the Worcester Public Schools.
You missed the national
These
anthem.
educators
Yeah,
a
are
moment of
silence
motivated
for
such
a moment of
bonus as
silence for
well,
Colin Powell.
as they also worked very
No
hard during the
way.
pandemic.
Yeah.
They
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
drove numerous members
just
of our
get
city
lost.
to and
Get
from
out of here.
shelters. They cleaned and sanitized and
Ugh.
organized nearly 25,000 Chromebooks that were
Yep.
distributed throughout the city to needy
Just why?
students. So they can do their remote learning. They also transported
So
non-Worcester
annoying.
Public School students to their schools and delivered food for the students and families of Worcester Public Schools. Some of them were even directly exposed to COVID-19 during this, having to quarantine and get tested. Some were positive for the virus and had a long road to recovery. Our transportation members have always been a very dedicated group and have always had the best interest of our students and community at large. Their continuous advocacy for the safety and well-being of our students has been even more prominent during this pandemic. They are very deserving of being recognized and allocated such a bonus as well, especially since we are some of the least paid employees of the Worcester Public Schools, making less than 30. We urge you to please consider and add these essential employees of the Worcester Public Schools to the group
I mean,
of
I
city
agree with her.
workers
They
that
should
will
be on the
receive a
list
bonus
of
for
people
their
that get
continuous work
bonuses.
during
Yeah.
the pandemic.
100%. Yeah.
If you have any questions or would like to speak
It
more
sucks
on
that
this
she has to
matter,
sit there and
please
justify
feel
it as
free
hard
to
as she is.
contact us. Thank
Yeah,
you for your time, consideration, and attention to this matter.
It's like, oh,
Thank you.
honey,
I thank you.
Thank you.
this is for the
Thank you everyone for
cops.
coming tonight.
This isn't.
Yeah.
This isn't.
And
Didn't-
that's to the
oh,
mayor.
you
for the
didn't
cops.
know? Yeah.
Okay.
Ah.
Anybody else wants to speak tonight?
You know, the
Oh,
cops that didn't change anything
the
about how they
matters?
worked and
wants to
got tons of overtime still and don't wear masks ever.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
evening, everyone.
all the best people.
Thank you, Mayor Petty, City Manager Augustus. I'm here to talk a little bit about the REACH program that is funded by the CDC to the city and administered to a lot of different partners. So the Latino Education Institute at Worcester State University, our mission is to improve the academic achievement and well-being of Latino students and their parents, kindergarten through college, from the city of Worcester. We began to get involved with the public health department right before the pandemic as we were trying to help to launch programs under the REACH initiative for diabetes and hypertension, areas that we knew were areas that we needed to pay attention to in the Latino community, and education and outreach. And right in the pandemic, UMass Memorial asked us to help with the pandemic, and that's how the partnership began. So we're here to say thank you for the partnership. We are thrilled. We have 2 teams that are working in the community to help the community. We have a COVID and flu team, and then we have the health ambassadors that are doing work in the REACH areas. And it's been a very
If Joe
rewarding,
Petty had
partnership so
any
far.
balls,
We've reached a lot
the
of
reach
people.
around joke
We've
here
different
is we're just
partnerships.
screaming for a
We've
reach
reached more
around
than
joke.
150 people in the city
No.
in Spanish.
Let's liven these meetings up a little
and
bit.
Portuguese.
Yeah,
We're
come
really
on.
proud of the work, and we thank everyone
some
at the
improv,
Department
Joe.
of Public Health for allowing us to partner with you and be engage the
The Ballards
community
are back
in their
on the
native
agenda.
language. And so,
George Russell
again, thank you
officially
for allowing
requested
us to do this work.
The Ballards.
Thank you.
We're getting them. I still don't know what those are, but we're
Anybody else
getting
in the room? No? Okay.
So excited.
Just your name and city of residence and item number.
I'm Grace Slowoski. I'm a resident of Worcester, and I'm here on behalf of the REC. And like Hilda, I'm here to speak a little bit about the REACH grant. I was talking to my good friend Nancy from Rainbow Childhood in the elevator as we were struggling to find the right place to go. And
We need
she
to
said,
reach
"Well, I'm here to share
around
the
the
good
city
news."
for
And
funding.
I think that's what I'm here to do today.
for our
We've been
program.
really proud to be a partner on the REACH grant initiative, specifically in
Yeah.
the area of healthy food access.
You're right,
through the
Travis.
Arch
Grace is
Global
great.
Farmers Market. Despite really myriad challenges with the COVID-19 pandemic, we were able to get over 200,000 pounds of healthy local produce to the community. And working with partners through REACH, like the Division of Public Health and like the health ambassadors from LEI, really allowed us to get the word out, particularly about the Healthy Incentives Program. 80% of our customers make purchases with the Healthy Incentives Program using SNAP. It means the produce is essentially free, but it's a very underutilized program. So we really rely on partnerships and grants like this to make sure the outreach is getting out to everyone who really needs it, is linguistically appropriate, and also that the way that we're delivering the program meets the needs of all Worcester residents. I also just wanted to take an opportunity to shout out our involvement in the Community Health Improvement Plan. We've been involved in that, particularly looking at the need to mobilize services coming on with the COVID-19 pandemic. And I'm extremely proud of the plan that was created. And I think it represents a bold and exciting plan for community health for Worcester. So we're very supportive of that. Thank you.
Thank you.
But how many bollards do you want?
Is your name, city of residence, and the item number you're here to speak on?
That's how we'll keep out. That's how we'll
Nancy Tebow,
address
Rainbow Development
all the health
Center,
issues. Just a
Um,
bollard for every
Strategic
a bollard for every
Development
seat.
and Development
We should
Manager
put-
at Rainbow.
Yeah, a bollard in every pot.
So I'm very proud to be able to be here because again,
We should put bollards
we
around
offered
COVID, I think, personally.
funding
Yeah,
and
I know.
strategic goals.
That'll keep
and
it out.
initiatives. And
Yeah.
I'm here to say that the boots on the ground have really worked and really am doing the work that you have deemed us to do, namely working with 5210. Now, those numbers sometimes are confusing, but what it means is that our young children that we serve from 6 months up to 13 years old are increasing the number of fruits and vegetables that they receive daily.
Twitch
We are also certainly
viewer
working on making
exclusive.
sure that they don't
Got a new drawing.
more than 2
Whoa.
hours
I'm gonna
of
make-
screen time.
Some art from my
Our new
Substack.
playground, they have at least 1 hour of physical
Let's
exercise
see that.
and no more
Oh, look
sugary
at that.
drinks at
Look at
Rainbow.
this.
Have fruit infused water, and we like to call it Rainbow
King
Lemonade.
Kong
Now, how
giving
did all
Turtle
this
Boy a
come together?
wedgie
It started
on top of
by
Union
working with
Station.
partners.
My good
Wow.
friend
It's the only
Matt
way we
drew
really can
this.
make things happen.
That's
Yeah,
is to work
incredible.
collaboratively.
I'm gonna do some
So
stuff
I'm
with this.
pleased
I'm
to
not
say
sure
that
what yet, but
along with the REC,
I got the
That is an
scan.
amazing, amazing
public
likeness
health,
of Mo
and
Bergman.
also Advanced Food and Nutrition, we have really built a terrific
That's incredible.
collaboration.
Mo
and it all
Kong
started with
Bergman.
getting dirty. And by that, I mean having raised beds right in front of Rainbow Child Development Center. When you're dealing with young children, they need to see what the heck are you talking about. They're
This-
talking about
Everything I
growing their
do
own
is an
fruits,
excuse to
well,
prove
not
I'm
fruits,
cool.
but a few little strawberries, but
I am
mostly
never not
vegetables.
doing that.
Easy vegetables that they can see they plant and they tend and then they harvest. And then we have an on-site chef that then produces a terrific lunch and breakfast for them. So we have harvest broccoli, summer squash, cabbage, peppers, things that these kids haven't
Yeah.
really been, they thought.
So I'm really
where
not
do
listening to this
vegetables
one at
come
all.
from? They weren't sure. They thought
Yeah,
maybe
it's
this
So-
was a
I
market.
can't tell what she's talking about.
So that's just one.
Yeah,
one
it's
way
not.
Of
It's
having the kids concretely really touch these.
it's of
She
little
took a-
consequence.
Another
She
way,
took a
though, is
public
to have
speaking
training.
class, I will
So we
say.
partner
Yeah,
and
for
have
sure.
all
If you
of our
notice
children
the
trained
way
throughout the year
that she
through
is
the REC and also
slowly
UMass,
panning back and forth between people,
telling the kids
Yeah.
that's a
what
class.
the
That's a
great
classic
food is
public
a-
speaking
is some
move.
type of
Yeah.
reward. Food is fuel.
I'm
Lastly,
sure-
also what's
I'm
really
sure
important
that
is
this
to make
person
sure
is a
our
lovely
parents-
person,
our
but
parents, we call them the change
picking up a
agents.
Nancy Pelosi
Those
energy here.
change agents
Ooh,
need to
yeah,
see what the
yeah,
children are
yeah.
doing and
Just-
why they're doing
Her
it.
freezer is full of
They're
gourmet
very,
ice
very
cream.
effective.
Yeah, remember when Nancy Pelosi did that?
Parent healthy cooking
What an
classes
asshole.
for
Like,
child
what an
development.
asshole. Oh my God.
Can you wrap up your comments?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So with that.
Boom.
I love it.
And
Joe's
the
always
last thing I
so
will-
sad
I
when he
will
has to
wrap
say
up.
that. Can
The
you
fact
wrap
that,
up? Can you wrap up your comments?
importance of physical exercise. We have a couple other programs calling Stepping into
There you
Empowerment and
go.
also Commit to be Fit.
Could
Thank
you
for
wrap?
your time.
Could
Thank you.
could you
Much
could
appreciated.
you wrap it up?
Okay. Is your name, city of residence, and item number?
Hi, good evening. My name is Amy Borg. I'm from Holden, Massachusetts, and I'd like to speak and join the enthusiasm about the Worcester Reach program.
People love this reach. They love the reach. We love it, folks.
UMass Worcester Prevention Research Center.
It's a good reach.
Which is at UMass Chan Medical School.
Yeah, the
and
the reach thing is
partners
is
with
good.
Worcester DPH.
Yeah,
and many
Joe
of the
Petty
researchers
always
for many-
sounds
with
so
the,
exhausted.
Greater Worcester Regional Youth Health Survey. and
Imagine
also
you try and walk around with that head all
presenting
day.
a COVID But I'm very pleased to talk about the work that we've been doing with Worcester Reach in
Just
terms of
swaying back and
evaluation.
forth.
As the evaluation partner, we're looking at the different areas.
I
of
would
reach,
buy a Joe Petty bobblehead.
including work being done for nutrition.
If someone were to
as,
make one,
raised
I would
by
buy
the
one.
Environmental
We
Council
should.
talks
Oh, we should
about,
make. We
increasing
should make a
fruits and
Joe Petty
vegetables.
bobblehead that just
We-
falls
the
over all the
evaluation
time.
is
Like it's
also
too
focused
top
on
heavy.
increasing ways that increasing physical activity throughout the city.
We should make
promoting
a Joe
active
Petty
promoting clinical
bobblehead,
linkages throughout
a
the
George
city.
Russell chia pet,
And Worcester Beach
Donna
and the DPH
Colorio
staff
chia pet,
really bring together many community partners
and
work with government agencies,
voodoo doll for Ed
coalitions,
Augustus.
to really focus on these important areas throughout our city.
So a new line of merch.
And,
Yeah.
the
The
Worcester
Mo
Beach
Bergman
staff
one
does
is just
lot
like
of
a
work
one of those
through
little
important
buckets of
community,
slime.
Coalitions, with the Worcester Food Policy Council and the
Mo Bergman
His
bedpan.
Advisory Group, really working hard to promote health throughout the city. So on behalf of the UMass
Matt
Worcester
Wally
Regional
would have to
Research
be a
Center,
build your own
we're thrilled
robot
to be
kit, right?
partnering with Worcester Regional
He's a
Research
Connect set.
here, celebrating this hard work. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
How come Joe doesn't actually sit in the big
Name, city,
throne?
residence, and item number?
He's got a chair in front of that huge, cool chair.
I know. I've always wondered that. That chair is majestic.
I'm here to speak about items 94C and 918A. And
No one
B,
ever
and
sits in
item
it. I sat in it
919
once. It felt cool.
Also relevant.
Hell yeah.
So along with Jerry Powers, I co-chair an organization called Walk Bike Worcester that with the mission of making walking and biking in Worcester more safe, pleasant, and convenient. Over the years, we've appeared before you and we've advocated
A Sisyphean task.
organized community events, participated in safety audits.
God bless
increased
him. God
participation
bless
in
him.
state and
For
city public
real.
meetings and more. Recently, we focused our
I have a
energy on
friend that
helping
just
implement
moved from
cities
New
to
York.
street
The guy that did that
policy as
drawing.
appointed members of the TAG
And he's like, he doesn't
Advisory
drive.
Group.
And he's
And
just always just
implementation
like,
needs
what the
change in
fuck,
city
man?
practices
What's
to
there?
improve travel for all roads.
There's just no
Combined
sidewalks.
with current initiatives like the
I was
Worcester Now, Worcester Next
I was down on
long-range plan
Franklin
process
Street
and complete
today,
streets
and I was taking the
prioritization plan.
right turn onto
The
Main Street
TAG
in front of the
makes us
city hall.
optimistic, but that is
And
tempered with some
the-
frustration.
I
Despite
was just
greater
like,
public
it just
input on
dawned on
major
me that the
projects like
bike lane
Place
there
Square and now the
is
Chandler Street
way more
project,
dangerous
little
than
has
not
changed so
having a
far in
bike
cities
lane
with
there.
teamwork,
Like
such as
Yeah.
resurfacing,
the way people
which
take
could
that
be
right
deployed to
turn
make
is just
incremental complete
insane.
streets improvements. We're really excited to hear the administration is actively investigating creation of a Department of Transportation. I believe it was at the suggestion of Councilor Wally, and implementing an interim streetscape policy.
Pull up this comment about
Particularly
Wally's
streets
creepy
with more
Instagram.
Oh,
than
yeah, yeah, yeah.
departmental
I am
cooperation and
unaware.
collaboration.
I'm
It has to
unaware.
have
Oh
Is it
my
on his
God.
Instagram?
I think it
public
is on his
participation and
Instagram.
Public input on
I'm looking
projects
it up
and
right now.
process as a basis for a healthy, equitable transportation and system and community. We welcome the emphasis on this in the newest CHIP, Community Health
insane.
Improvement Plan, and through the ongoing REACH grant activities led by Worcester Division of Public Health, especially their focus on increasing participation by groups who typically don't show up at public meetings. Partnering with DPH based on their.
Why can't-
deep
what's his
investment
handle? I
in
can't find it.
engagement Is critical for Walk Bike's core issues. And I just want to end by underscoring the urgency of changing city transportation practice now. Despite drops in traffic volume through the pandemic, crashes, injuries, and deaths are all climbing, especially for people on foot or
Might be on his
a bike.
Facebook too.
And people of
I think I
color
saw it on
experience
Facebook
many
too.
times the risk. Speed is among the chief causes. Worcester streets, really wide. with
Oh, it's on the
pedestrians,
City of
traffic
Worcester
calming
Instagram.
elements
Oh,
actually
there it is.
encourage speeding. And the most impactful way to change this is through design, and changes should be informed by expertise plus meaningful input by all residents and not simply a few who know how to be heard. So I appreciate your time this evening and look forward to continued collaboration on these issues.
Thank you. Just- Name, city of residence, and the item number?
Good evening. My name is Jahaira Graxirena. I am a resident
Wow.
of Worcester, and I'm here tonight
That's
as a
great.
transportation planner from the Central Massachusetts Regional Planning Commission.
It is
where I serve
troubling.
as a project
Matt
manager for
Wally,
the
100%
metropolitan
sicko.
planning organization. Also
Joker
known as
mode
the CMPO
activated.
and as a transit planner for the WRTA.
Also,
Tonight I'm going to talk about our partnership.
the most recent picture,
on the
scroll
bridge
all the way to the left,
pro-
the most recent
program.
post.
The
You got
CMPO
Matt
is
Wally
continually
looking like he's in
expanding
Men in
its base of
Black.
stakeholders and
He
supports
is
targeted approach to
mean
underserved
mugging.
and underrepresented populations. in the transportation
With
planning
the
process.
sickest shades
Not
on.
only to inform
Wow.
and consult about transportation projects, but
Wow.
also to actively engage them in the decision-making
Let's
process.
see.
So the partnership with the Division
we
of Public
go.
Health
People
and
can
the REACH program allow us to work
see
directly
his
with the Latino community.
terrible look in his eyes.
Including
Oh,
pedestrian
look at that. That's high tech. We can pull it up.
implementation of
Amazing.
complete streets, access to essential services, healthy aging, and improving air quality that it has a direct effect on asthma rates in the city. By continually participating in the CHIP development process, the City Transportation Advisory Group and REACH, the CMPO was
There it
able
is.
to work and analyze transportation data
Amazing.
as it relates to health outcomes.
Matt
So
Wally is
crazy.
the Joker.
Participated in road safety audits and walk audits, including the Green Hill Neighborhood Walk Audit and the
Travis, can we
Union Lake
Jokerfy him
Neighborhood
before
Walk
the end of
Audit.
this meeting tonight?
In both cases, we shared
On it.
summaries, recommendations to the planning division so they can eventually incorporate that in the complete streets prioritization plan. The most recent collaboration with the Division of Public Health and the REACH program took place at Lincoln Street and Harlow and McKinley Streets last September, where community members from the Green Hill neighborhood were able to actively participate in a street mural funded by the Worcester Arts Council and supported by the REACH program. The street mural represented an opportunity for the neighbors to come together, be engaged, talk about transportation and other issues about the built environment in their community, and work together for several months, which resulted in a stronger sense of community and neighborhood identity. There are still many things to do, like the implementation of complete streets, adding more accessible taxis. There's only one currently servicing the city, expanding the network of accessible trails and off-road bicycling infrastructure, providing transportation options for older adults, perform safety assessments at the school bus stops, actively participating in Mass DOT's Safe Routes to School program, and continue strengthening the partnerships with social service organizations that work directly with underrepresented populations in an effort to continue expanding the capacity building of the participants in the transportation planning and decision-making process. At CMRPC, we look forward to continue the participation, the partnership with the Division of Public Health, among other initiatives where we can support each other and leverage federal funds that come to the region. That's all for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, anybody on the phone? Or?
Yeah, I'm on the phone because
Mr.
this is
Mayor, yes,
fucking
we do
boring.
have a few folks on the phone. We're going to start with the phone calls. If you're on the phone, can you please state your name and city of residence?
You know, I get it. I understand
For
why
the residents on the phone, can you please
when
state your
there's a
name and city
good
of residence?
program that is up for approval by the
Rick.
council, that people come and
I heard
talk
a Rick.
about it and support it. But
Yes, well, this is Rick
when it's
Timmerman,
something like no
for
consequence like
District
that, it
here
is
in
very
Worcester,
boring to listen
Massachusetts.
to.
I'm here to speak on item 9.
Yeah, especially when there's probably not going to be
Forestry
pushback
Tree
on it,
Commission.
really.
Guys, this is Rick Cipro.
This
Oh.
motion and this order, I think it is a long time coming. This is something that should have been done years ago after the devastation of the ice storm in 2009, the beetle infestation, and then also the taking of current trees in the city. So this is something that is well overdue, and we welcome that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, for
All
the
right.
residents on the phone,
Couldn't
can you
show
please
up,
state
Rick?
your name and city of residence?
Yeah, right.
Talk
we
about a
heard a
no-show.
Good evening. My name
Yeah,
is
just
Paul
calling in to
Pavlicek,
say
and I'm
this
calling
is
in.
good.
I live at 34
What's the
Midland
political
Street,
strategy there?
and I'm
Hey,
calling
dude,
in tonight to show my support for agenda item 9.8.b, amendments to the city organizational ordinance to create the Urban Forestry Tree Commission. I'm glad the city is moving in this direction. I'm grateful for the proposed plan to create a tree commission along with the creation of a master plan, all of which will involve the opportunity for community-wide citizen input. The fact that the Davie Resource Group will conduct a citywide tree.
I want to be on the tree
inventory
committee so
with
bad.
primary focus on the street
I will
trees
ride fucking
is
hard
an
for those
important
trees.
tool for
Hell
this
yeah.
process.
Whole
Tree brings exceptional expertise.
Bill
to
Shaner
the
becomes the Lorax.
And from
Yes.
evaluating existing trees and doing
Any
a risk assessment of those
authoritarian
trees,
means
a
that I could
valuable
possibly
baseline
muster
will be created from
within the
which to work.
confines of the tree commission,
The
I will
fact that this
use.
information will be available as part of the
Use
city's public database.
I
All
would
of
make
the
it-
weapons
will make
that
this
the
information
tree commission
easier to
affords me.
find for our
The
fellow
whole
citizens
arsenal of
to work
weapons
with. We are
afforded
glad to hear
the
that
tree
our tree
commissioner.
warden, Mr. Antonelli, has
Don't
talked
fucking
about the
touch my
efforts
trees.
underway within the Forestry Division to get up to speed on best practices and the
It is a good
concept
thing,
of
though. It's good that the city
right
is
tree in
doing
the right
this,
place.
and
It's also important
it's like
that
the right
available
kind of
information from other
like
communities be
bureaucratic
used to help
flow,
create and
in my
guide this
opinion.
planning process.
Worcester should have had one of these
We
a long time
encourage
ago.
close
You should have
cooperation
to
with National
go
Grid
in front of
to
a board
ensure that proper
before
tree
you cut a
management
street tree
in the
down.
right of way
Like somebody should be able to say no to that.
be utilized, because
They
this is where so many
they
of
cut
our
down the
trees
tree. They
are.
started cutting down the trees on our
National
street,
Grid's interest would
and
be
there
to
was one
have a
across the
very
street from
wide
us. This
corridor
huge old tree,
to minimize
and they just like
disruption to
showed
the
up one day and
line.
just chopped it
But it would
down,
come at the
like
It's such
with
a-
expense of
that's-
potentially significant
no
loss
explanation, no
That-
real clear
trees
reason
to
why.
achieve that.
Like, and you know,
Worcester
there probably
takes
was a good
pride in
reason,
its
but also like
designation as a tree city.
kind of a big deal.
These tree
It
management
feels
Yeah.
like a big deal to me.
initiatives
To do
Pisses
efforts
me off.
combined have the potential to show what the full expression of a tree city can be. We understand the critical role
I will
trees
say though, if
play
Cipro's in
in
favor
the
of it, then I
addressing
kind
the
of feel like I
climate
should be
crisis
against it.
and mitigating
Right?
the worst
But that's on
impacts of
me.
the urban
That's
heat
like-
island effect.
Can you
I
wrap up
I
the
don't
fund?
get that play. He picked the
Yes, I wish to express my
least
gratitude to
consequential,
Councilor Rhodes
most
for his efforts to get
like
this process
consensus
underway.
bill item on
very
the
much.
agenda and just called in to be like,
Hey,
good
you
idea. What
Dude,
what is-
he the
for the
the
residents of
amount that
Chelmsford,
he is
DC,
bad
and
at
King
running a
City
campaign
residents?
is crazy,
yeah.
and
Uh,
he'll
Can you hear me?
probably win just but
Can you
based
hear me?
on the fact that like
Yeah, there's two people.
everyone that's voting for him
So can you please
is
say
a
your name and city of
credulous
residence?
moron. So
Right. My name
yeah.
is Sarah Shields.
I
live
guess
in
it's
really
Worcester,
just-
and I work here in Worcester. I'm a family
I don't
physician
wanna
at the Family Health Center of Worcester and the
accept that
National
he's
Center
gonna
for
win,
Medicine, and I'm
but-
chair of the Worcester Healthy Babies Collaborative, and I'm here tonight to speak both
I hope
to
he's
the
not. I
grant
really,
and the
really
community
hope
health
that something
improvement
happens.
program.
But
Yeah,
We're a
Shaun Rose
coalition of
doesn't.
Worcester's health providers, public
he's
health
stepping
officials,
it
and
up
local
recently,
agencies
and
serving
maybe
young
it's
families.
plenty of time
We've been
because no
working
one really
closely
pays
with the
attention.
REACH grant to reduce infant deaths in Worcester through addressing
but
breastfeeding, trying to reduce
I think
the
that
gap in
even a
breastfeeding
modicum
support
of
for members of the Latinx
campaigning would
community in
have
Worcester. We
curtailed
sponsored 2 annual
Cipro a
infant
long time
mortality
ago.
summits, both last
Yeah.
year and this year, with national speakers and local panels to allow people to talk about their lived experience and review the issues around racial equity and breastfeeding support. We've selected and approved applicants for certified lactation counselor training scholarships for those serving the Latinx community, with a total of 12 people supported for that. And we've given grants for 10 other community members to attend a 2-day breastfeeding education workshop.
That's not a
We're
half
excited
bad
to have
idea
some
right
Facebook
there.
Live events, both in English and Spanish, about breastfeeding.
But
and after
Travis
further
also has to
analysis
say
of our
Baba
local
Booey,
hospitals'
Baba
breastfeeding
Booey,
data,
Howard Stern's
we
penis.
anticipate evaluating further strategies to improve breastfeeding resources for Worcester's Latinx community. As for the community health improvement,
You guys ever
program,
seen the
Gabe.
Howard
we have
Stern?
always addressed racial equity and have led anti-racism training for our members. We're
You guys ever
thrilled
watched the
that one of
Howard
our
Stern micro
coalition's
penis
longest-term
contest?
partner agencies, Carney Family Health Services, has received
No.
funding to address one of the 12
Don't.
CHIP strategies
It's really
Okay.
bad.
to implement.
It's a bunch of guys with micro penises lining up, and he rates
We're
them.
working with Carney and the Family Health Center to operate
It's deranged.
evaluate this
Yeah.
pilot program,
Yeah.
which we feel is critical to Worcester's young families and is something
But anyway,
Howard Stern did some weird stuff over the years. Gotta
highlighting
tell you.
its importance in our 2018 Infant Mortality Summit. Along with our efforts to emphasize community engagement and lift the voices of those with lived experiences of infant and young family health issues, our work addresses 5 of the 6 prioritized strategies of the CHIP, including tangible language concordant educational resources to Worcester's diverse families, addressing anti-racism work, coordinating to train a diverse lactation counselor workforce, and real-time data collection and analysis that is years ahead of the state's birth data, and which can inform the Division of Public Health strategies. We've been working with the Together for Kids Coalition to develop a dashboard of wellness indicators for infants and young children in Worcester to better integrate and across silos all these diverse efforts. We think one of the things that's important to hear is that having a chief of maternal and child health in the Division of Public Health would enable these efforts to move even further towards making Worcester live up
the slogan of our former public health director, Dr. Leonard Morse, who said, "A baby's health is the city's wealth." We look forward to continuing to work with the city in the rest of the years of the REACH grant and as the CHIP strategies are developed and implemented in these critical areas of health and wellness for Worcester's young infants and their families. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else, Nico?
Hi, this is Casey Burns from the Coalition for Health for Good of Worcester. I'm a Worcester resident and here to speak on behalf of the work with the Community Health Improvement Plan.
So
as
what I
the
know about
director
Baby
of the
Safe
Coalition
Sleep,
for Health for Good of Worcester, I'm just so thrilled and excited about the
they
development and partnership.
shouldn't watch anything
with
too
the
exciting
public
while they're
health
falling
at
asleep.
Memorial
So
and
you
all,
want to keep it to like
many of the
reruns.
great partners
Oh
here
shit!
tonight, as well as across the city, who have been involved in really deeply
So not that
looking
you
at
don't show that to
health
babies before
outcome
going to
data,
sleep.
really engaging in our deeper community engagement process.
I feel like it
to
would be
understand
pretty
not
good,
only,
actually.
strategy, understand what disparities are, but
Next
what are the
week.
root
Next
causes
week I'll
driving
call.
those. And so we
Yeah, I'll get you in there next
engaged
week.
to have over 35 community conversations with over 100 community residents most impacted by health disparities and ask them, what should we do about it? How can we build on community efforts and assets? And how do we fill in gaps? And we're really excited to now have a really
rough
strong
to
framework of the new
listen to this
2021
described over a
2026
phone call.
CHIP.
But I
It has
really feel
three
like a
major
lot of it has to
components:
do with the fact that there's
municipal racial
zero
equity
engagement from
policies,
the city
community
council on
change
a lot of stuff
campaigns,
like
and
this
an
that
action agenda.
Yeah.
And we're
makes
really
it
looking forward to
feel,
the collaboration with
you know,
City Council and with the City of Worcester on
It's like
implementing this.
they
We're going to be
just
building a data dashboard and have many
wait
pieces
through it
of the
with
implementation
no
plan already in
obligation
place.
to.
Yep.
And it was so bad with the defund
Year
WPD
to really engage deeply
movement
about
around
that.
the police
Our
budget.
ask is if we
They
can
were
come
just waiting and getting angry
talk about the
that they had
implementation.
to
We're happy
like
to
listen to
provide data and
people
information on
like
rationale of
expect things of them as public
and I'm really
servants.
looking forward to this partnership. But thank you so much for
and
allowing
that
me
took
to
like
tonight.
2 solid months of just hundreds of people screaming at them
Thank
constantly
you,
for
Mr.
them
Mayor.
to
So we're gonna
even
move on to folks with
react to it.
electronic devices. Cheryl.
They still shut it all
No, we'll
down
try to unmute
mostly,
Cheryl
but
now.
yeah, when it's something
Cheryl,
like
can you hear
this
us?
where you can't drum up
Okay, not hearing from Cheryl. I'm
a
gonna
lot
move on
of
to,
passion for it, then
Christy
it's
Vick.
really
I'm
hard to
trying to
get
mute
them
Christy
to
now.
even pay attention.
Yep.
Okay, Christy, can you hear us? Not hearing from Christy. We're going to go with Deb Carey. Deb, can you hear us? Okay, not hearing from Deb Carey. We're going to go Emily Burton. I'm going to try to unmute Emily now. Emily, can you hear us? Okay, we're going to move on to Eric Stratton. Eric, can you hear us? Okay, we're going to move on. Next one is Kathy Krieger. I'm going to try to unmute Kathy now.
Can you hear me?
We can. Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay, good. I just wanted to speak to the item 9.8B, the agenda item that is to recommend adoption of an amendment to the city's organizational ordinance to create the Urban Forestry Tree Commission. I'm very grateful.
Tree Commission.
Hell yeah. Tree Force.
Tree Force.
I'm really grateful that the city council unanimously approved this tree commission in August. This is an important
They
step.
desperately
This
try and
piece of
punish you for
legislation to
waiting that
actually
long,
bring
though.
this committee into
Yep.
creation, into fruition at this time.
So you know how
I think
Aiden
it's
Kearney's
important for
ex-lover
the tree commission
released a video of
to
him
understand what the 5
jerking off?
people who are
I do.
We are all familiar with that story.
Yes.
Last night,
on
I'm
this
about to tweet this thing that I'm talking about, but last night my
for
friend
this
goes,
commission to be
I don't
able
need to see
to,
that video. I don't want to see that video. I already know what it looks like. I bet he looks like the alien from Fire in the Sky.
and to assist.
And oh my
in
God,
the
it is
creation
uncanny.
Of the
It's so
master
funny.
plan, the urban forestry master plan. So I think
That's
the creation
incredible.
of the tree commission is, its time is now. And as someone mentioned earlier, it could have been used before, but at least now is our opportunity to put it into action. I'm very impressed with the ideas and the work that Commissioner Fink and Assistant Commissioner Antonelli have put into, and the ideas they've come up with.
Okay, that's the
in
funniest.
developing
That's the funniest thing
the
I've
overall
ever
plan,
seen
and
in my
also
life.
they're bringing this forward tonight. I'm very
Hold on. Hold that up again, Bill.
excited to see how this helps
Yeah,
the
one sec.
city. It has a lot to offer all of the citizens in terms of addressing
Yeah. There you go.
need their tree canopy and addressing the quality of our air and health of our citizens and the quality of
No,
life.
well,
And
actually,
there's so
we
many
can't make you watch that because the full
moving
video
pieces
has not been
of this
posted
puzzle
yet.
Yeah,
that
there are people on Twitter that
Commissioner
have it. You
Fink
could
and,
definitely get it if you wanted it,
Assistant
but
Commissioner Antonelli
it has not been
have
posted.
covered. I happen to be a member of kind of an ad hoc group that,
Hey, can you wrap up your comments too?
yes, that pushed for this to come into fruition. We call ourselves Green Streets. And we've had the opportunity to hear the commissioner and assistant commissioner explain in detail their thoughts about this and the importance of this agenda item 9.8B for the future of Worcester's green plan. So thank you very much. And counselors, I urge you to vote yes on 9.8B and to continue your support for the Urban Forestry Commission. Thank you.
Anybody else, Nico?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, we have Kimberly Ruckert next. Kimberly, can you hear us? Okay, not hearing from Kimberly. We're going to move on. Sarah Shields. Sharon, can you hear us?
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Hi, I already spoke.
Okay.
Thanks.
The next speaker is Scott Narayan. Scott, can you hear us? Okay, not hearing from Scott.
Yeah,
I'm going to move on
hey.
to Damon. Damon, can you hear us?
It's like a
Yeah,
useless
I
exercise in
mean,
some ways
I
because
wanna
they're not
start
required to respond to you,
support
and
item number 9.8 and B,
they don't
which
listen.
is the formation of
Yeah.
the tree commission. Just want to
And
thank
the
everybody.
and it's
who
like
are
the
actually
way that
instrumental
it's
in
set up
keeping
too,
on
with
the
it being
agenda,
separate
and
from the
also all
actual like
council members
Yes,
items themselves,
very good
makes
point.
it so easy to
for
just.
initiative in the past to see
Very
other
good point.
things and
Instead of having it like be like a public hearing structure where residents speak and then counselors speak or something like that on the issue at hand, you just have to hear a bunch of scattershot statements about issues without context, and like it doesn't mean anything to anybody. It doesn't like it doesn't really accomplish anything. It's just something that you have to abide because it's legally required until it's over, and that's exactly the mentality of everyone in City Hall. They're just waiting for it to end.
Yep.
Online.
We have a couple more people here, so this your. Who else wants to speak? So I have an idea. So we have 3 people. Oh, you're on the Bill. You're on the agenda, so you're fine. So we have 4 more people. We're going to end it after that. This your name, so your residence and item number?
Yep. Good evening. My name is Monica Lowell.
Yeah.
And I'm the Vice President of Community Health Transformation at UMass Memorial. I live in West Boylston. I'm here actually to give support to the community health.
Get your ass back to West Boylston.
UMass Memorial has been very much involved in this for several years. It builds upon the community health needs assessment that we do every 3 years. And it is an absolutely wonderful document that has truly a community engagement to have a roadmap to address some of the issues and priorities that have been identified by the community. It's wonderful work that's being done by the Worcester under the leadership of the Worcester Department of Public Health, the Coalition for a Healthy Greater Worcester, and many others. So I just want to express here on behalf of UMass Memorial Health how important this document is to get our community healthy, because we cannot do this work alone. Thank you.
Thank you. Is your name, say your residence and item number?
How you doing? My name is Laura Martinez. I'm a Worcester resident, and I have been an ongoing consultant with the Department of Public Health working on
Yeah,
the REACH grant.
that's a fit
Part of
right
the
there.
work
That's a good
Yeah.
a
fit.
lot of community engagement and community
We should
outreach.
start an Instagram
I also
account.
have the
City
pleasure
Council
to work
fits.
with one of these
Fits the city
grassroots
council. I wanted to do
paper institutions like UMass. I have
back when
been
I worked
privileged
in
to
Milford, I wanted to do
facilitate
neck
community
tattoos of
conversations and
Milford
understand
District
and
Court.
community.
I've also have had my
'Cause there were
hand
some good
in
ones.
creating educational videos when it comes to healthy nutrition, eating, accessing WIC, SNAP, and HIP, and also
Lot of
trying
last
to
names.
increase breastfeeding among Latinx mothers here in Worcester. I'm very proud and privileged.
It's
not
helpful,
only
you
to
know.
be a
Sometimes you
Worcester
forget.
resident,
Just
but
look
to
in the
also be
mirror.
working and leading this great project. Thank you so much.
Thank you. What's your name, city residence, item number?
My name is Jordan Berg Powers. I'm a Worcester resident. I'm speaking on 13B. I'm also, in my day job, part of the Drawing Democracy Coalition, which is working on redistricting and reprecincting. There's nothing in particularly wrong with 13B. I think most of the suggestions through actual people engaging with the redistricting process have sort of helped the city get what it wanted. The frustration is that the way in which the city is currently going through reprecincting
Oh, this stuff
headed
is.
towards a needless lawsuit. And so
I talked to
think
this
that
guy
sort of
earlier
the
today.
current
This is
move
the
to,
thing that was so confusing last
stop
meeting.
the current
Yeah.
process that it's going
Yeah,
through.
we got to listen to this guy.
The election commission has been disturbing, to say the least. Worcester city staff has been unmasked. It's been spewing conspiracy theories. The only thing missing from the election commission hearings were people to talk about stopping the steal and voter fraud. It was just unnerving, to say the least. As opposed to 10 years ago, our city clerk, David Rushford, went through a process which required fewer hearings because he engaged people throughout the process. He brought the redistricting committee to the people. He had meetings in churches and in the community centers and gave us months to talk with us, to help us get through this process. Yes, this process was shorter because of the problems with the census data, but there is time. The city is not under any sort of pressure to get this done. The reason the LEDRC, which got the election commission's maps, did not move forward is because there's no way it could move forward. The process of redistricting is not done. And there was a law passed at the state that says redistricting will go before reprecincting. And yet, for some reason, the city decided to move forward with its process. And thankfully, the LEDRC held up those maps. We are now the second largest city, and we're acting like we're Topsfield or Peru. Their towns can do precincting because they're going to have one state rep and one state senator. We can't go through this process like this, and it makes no sense. By contrast, the city of Boston has been engaged in the process with the redistricting committee throughout. It hasn't waited to the last second.
Yeah, Jordan
done
Berg Powers is
things
fucking
outside of
man.
the law, and then tried to beg them to fix it afterwards, which is what happened. It makes no sense. You could have engaged in the process throughout with the redistricting committee, which has had an open door about the ways in which you want to have the lines match with state rep and state senator. Additionally, we could have started a process, said we're going to do some of the legwork, we're going to bring it to people, we're going to have some public meetings, and then inform the redistricting committee, and they could have used that in their drawings, right? We could have engaged in a constant communication. Instead, we waited till this whole process has been a disaster and embarrassing. And if we continue down this path, it is just going to be.
Can you wrap up your comments, please?
So I am urging us to not do this as a city taxpayer.
Bill, you got
to
to
put the brakes
comment on.
the insanity that's currently going on, and to just follow the law.
You got a
which is very
request.
simple.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if you
I
wait,
can do that. I got some in my
redistricting
car.
State reps and state senators. They will then have some maps, and then reprecincting.
Nothing but
can
respect for
happen.
my Unabomber. Yeah, so that whole bungled, confusing discussion about reprecincting and such last week, I've done some more reporting on that, and it's going to come back up again tonight. But basically, the city of Worcester is just walking into another extremely stupid, easy to avoid lawsuit by refusing to just follow the rules. It's incredible. It's the panhandler shit all over again.
What's ironic about the housing crisis in Worcester is that it's occurring during.
Ooh, housing.
Well, oh, here we go.
Current homeowners, the valuation is at or above historic highs. But unfortunately, nearly 2/3 of Worcester residences are occupied by renters who are paying record high rents. In many ways, our city is the victim of this council's success in attracting new businesses, developers, and residents into the heart of the Commonwealth. Worcester is historically a blue-collar city, and I worry what this city will look like when the folks who built and maintained it can no longer
This is a
live
fit.
here. The first step to
tie
solving a
matching the
problem is
sweater.
admitting there is one. Only then is it possible to identify the web of causes and conditions that need to be addressed to remedy it.
He looks like he's at
Each
a
individual
funeral
provides a
/
different
Christmas
vantage
party,
or
but he's
perspective.
rocking it.
Multiple perspectives are needed to fully understand this problem. We must work together to devise multiple solutions. Otherwise, we're like a group of blind folks, each touching the different part of an elephant and thinking our perspective represents the entirety. It is thereby in the best interests of the city of Worcester to host a housing summit to provide this council with greater insight into the needs and challenges of renters in Worcester. I would also recommend that individuals and families currently living in affordable housing are also invited to the summit proposed by Mr. Coleman to provide testimony on their experiences applying and waiting for housing, as well as some of the challenges they experience after receiving it. This input is necessary to better address the housing crisis. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll go back to the agenda.
Agenda.
What we're probably going to do is just go through this, we'll part of the public portion of this agenda. Then if people are here for the health, maybe we'll go to Health and Human Services, since people are staying for that. We'll go to that section after we do the public portion. Okay. Okay, we have, next motion is, we have 7A. The motion is to open the hearing. All those in favor? Opposed? So ordered.
We're on the agenda.
We have a hearing for National Grid for condo location on Canterbury Street.
This is freaking Worcester, baby. We got Joe Petty talking. He's putting R's where they shouldn't be. He's not putting the R's where they should be.
Close the hearing. Those in favor?
Sounds like he
Opposed?
has
So
14
ordered.
marbles in his
Motion
mouth at all times.
All those in favor? Opposed? So ordered.
Like he's halfway through a regatta sub and it's all bread.
Anybody here for a petition? I know we have Mr.
All right, I'm gonna go grab my
Coleman,
shades.
We have 8A and 8B. We're going to refer to Public Works. 8C to 8G.
Welcome to the
Joe Petty's
agenda
got a
portion.
yeah, he's got a very
8B,
bready
8J,
accent.
we're after the hearing for
And the mask
October
doesn't do him any
26th,
favors either.
2021. Okay, all those in
Okay.
favor? Opposed, so ordered.
Yeah.
Then we have Michael Grandot, request City Council, request administration explore a 5% tax reduction in personal property real estate taxes for seniors 70 years and older. Mr. Grandon here? No, so we can send that to the manager. All those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
How are they voting?
We
Are
have
they
three
just
items
voting by
Bill
thumbs?
Coleman, request city manager invite the public
I
to
don't
send
think
a
they are.
postcard in favor of or against the Preservation Act
Just
of the
reading this
City of
stuff
Worcester
fast.
from October 20th, 21
Yeah.
to November 2nd, 2021, with the cards tallied November 5th, 2021, and give indication of support or lack of support
What
for
was
the program
funny?
advisory question.
It's
Bill
election
Coleman
day.
requests council
Oh.
administration hold a crisis in Worcester Housing Summit at the Worcester Senior Center, inviting public and private housing professionals in Worcester with the public to give testimony to the council on the needs and challenges for housing available in Worcester. And city clerk provide the number of eligible citizens who can vote in this year's election, and also list the number who have voted in the last 5 municipal elections and with eligible population. Mr. Coleman, you have 3 minutes.
Okay. I am Joseph Michael Petty. Please don't try to adjust your TV screens. I'm Bill Coleman. And
Phil rocking a fit tonight too.
That tie,
first
I
item,
love the
the
colors.
dates can be flexible, but I think we should do a postcard, at least advertisement, to invite people to send and to express their interest in the Preservation Act. As we've talked about at different candidate forums, many people have said, what is a Preservation Act? And I said, well, that needs to be an open conversation, and maybe we can do that. But, you know, at some point in time, we can talk with Preservation Worcester about engaging people to say whether they support it or not, because it won't be able to come up for another 4 years.
There's a kid in the background
On,
that I thought might
on
speak, but it
item
looks like he's
number
just there
8N,
attending. His
I
name's
asked that the
Zaire.
city
Great kid I
clerk
met
make
through
available, and
Technocopia.
these-
I'm
these
pumped to see him.
statistics
He's right
are
there. He just comes
available.
in the frame a
And we
little
can
bit.
make them available to the
It's just cool
press
seeing him
so
there.
they can
I don't
put
know
them in
why
the
he's there,
paper
but
to see what people
I think he's there with
say
Reach.
about the possibility. We have 108,000 people in
Those
the
are
city of
matching
Worcester
shirts.
who could vote, and sometimes 12,000,
Those poor kids.
14,000 come out to vote. And if people knew those numbers are that low, then maybe it might encourage more people to participate. Number 8M, this is my big one, that we hold a summit on the crisis in Worcester housing. Now, here's how simple this could be. next Wednesday between 1 and 3 o'clock at the senior center, we could take testimony. There's a couple of professionals who work up there providing housing to elderly and to people, and they're overwhelmed. But they've suggested it. I've made 45 phone calls, submitted a 5 to 8 year waiting list that people are experiencing applying for housing. I submitted that a couple of weeks ago to the city clerk for the city council. I think we can do this. We can do this. I asked esteemed Councilor
He's
Gary
running, right?
Rosen, this is something Gary knows the people. People know Gary. Gary could sit up there and hold court and just invite these professionals to come in to share their experience with the city on how the city can address the issue of the crisis in housing in our community. It's 8 to 10 years for a Section 8 voucher.
Always.
This is something we can put
Nice to see you,
together in
Guillermo.
short order, take testimony,
And a tell.
resubmit
Great
that
to see you guys.
testimony
Thanks
to
for
the
coming out. Thanks for
administration,
hanging.
and then have a
Thanks everybody
working,
else.
idea of how bad
Yes.
this crisis
There's 20 of
is.
you
Also,
guys watching.
So
thanks
I would ask that
to
maybe the
20
mayor
of you.
might want to act on 8M.
Bill's coming right back. I'm the filler.
And we might want to have the city administration just make a phone call.
There was a request
and
for
say,
Bill to
hey,
get his
listen,
sunglasses.
we need
So
part of the senior center 1 to 3.
So you're stuck
And then
with me
we can
for now.
graciously ask Councilor Rosen if
oh.
he would just chair something like that, but all of us could attend, the public and the private sector.
Okay, can you wrap up your comments?
Yeah.
Wrap
and I
it
just
up.
wanna say
Wrap
that,
it
this is
up.
something we can do in short order. Thank you again for this opportunity. We do have a housing crisis in our community, and let's address it.
Okay, thank you. So I think this is only a thought. 8L we can file, 8M send to the manager, and 8N send to the clerk. Okay, all those in favor? Opposed, so ordered. The motion is this. I don't know if we have this. Yeah, we'll do the appointment.
Yes,
We're on
absolutely.
9.1A.
Yeah. I mean,
We have a non-city council confirmation transmitting information communication of the appointment of Con Von Tron.
this
MD,
it's.
PhD,
I think that. I mean, there's a
Board
reason why you guys are
file
running.
on
There
December
is
31st, 2025.
a lack of
And,
interest
I
in
don't know if that person's here or not, but
addressing these
congratulations.
issues.
Thank you for your service
and
and,
taking
much
on
appreciated.
even the
With that, we have a
solutions that are
motion to
already in front of
file.
us.
All those in favor, opposed,
So
ordered. Now
I
we
guess
go to,
Bill showing that they're not even willing to
suspend the
have a
rules,
discussion
go to
about
Health
it
and Human
is
Services.
useful, at the very least.
Since we have a bunch of people in the audience and young people too. And so we have 9.18A, transmitting information communication of the upcoming launch of the 2021 Greater Worcester
Yeah,
Community Health
they're going
Improvement
to.
Plan.
yeah, they're flying through this agenda.
Okay. Any
Yeah,
questions?
the
or-
Woo Sox players, they're going to live at the
Councilor Rivera?
grid inside.
Uniball.
Boo-ha-ha. There he is.
This meeting,
Thank you,
just
Mr.
kidding,
Chairman.
parody.
I don't believe that we've come where we are, but I just wanted to
For
highlight-
humor,
Parody.
for humor.
Parody, humor,
as we look at
parody.
This report, there were several things that we were looking at in regarding this.
You
like
missed
back in
Bill Coleman.
2015,
I hate
they
to
were
tell
looking
you.
at health equity.
Ah,
And thank God they were,
bummer.
because fast forward to 2020, I mean, and we see how much.
I'm just kidding. They're not going to live at
We see
at
how
the
much
grid.
health.
I don't know
equity
anyone
was
else that
really
lives there,
a
so they might as
component
well.
or health inequities was really a component in what we were seeing in regards this pandemic. So it's great to see that we had a team that was definitely, thinking ahead. And most of us in the health field really understood that there was a lot of issues of inequity. The pandemic for some people was like this eye opener. So if there's something that we can get in the silver lining, is actually being able to know that there's some conversations that were happening, but really needed to be highlighted. So we really appreciate that. I like to see how, when you see the priorities that were out in 2015, were very similar to what we need now, really looking at economic opportunities, racism and discrimination. And I remember that at the time, there was so much complexities and difficulty to actually get these things in. Like it almost seemed like it was crazy, that many of us who were talking about this, the public health team that was really talking about this, there was some opposition to that, right? And so I'm really glad that we stood together as a city and really saw that this was really an issue. As you fast forward and look at all the issues, I mean, if you see here in the report year after year, there's so many things that we're really looking and highlighting now. Food insecurities, looking at housing insecurities.
And I think when we look at now the being able to see health from an equity lens is really important. And some of the what we're looking at here is really some of the focal point are things that we've all been continuously talking about. I just want to highlight that I think as we move forward, as we're looking at, adopting a municipal racial equity policy, that's powerful. Like for me, coming in when I came in, in 2012 and seeing where we are having this, this would only be a dream to be able to think that we're having this conversation. And for multiple years, we've been.
I'm gonna show up to City
trying to
Hall
bring
like this
forward.
one time.
And to highlight this isn't about leaving anybody out, but it's actually about finally
Just see what happens.
those who have been left out, finally including them in. And that's what this is about. And if there's something that this pandemic
At this point,
has
they'd probably just
brought
say, "Hi,
forward
Bill."
to many people that really
Yeah, right.
is to actually be able to see
Bang,
how,
bang. He shot me
hard and
down.
really how
Bang, bang.
life-altering having these inequities in general really have, and how they really affect us on our quality of life and our health, and how so much of social determinants of health. And so I really want to commend the administration.
A little bit. A little bit of tell.
Been supportive in moving this forward.
Not
and also
quite.
looking at our great team, in public health and human services, done some really, really great
But
work.
it is a nice
I
program.
look
It's a good
forward to
program.
continue to do this work, and this is
At
the
least from
kind
what
of
I read
program
about it.
as we're talking, I think, in our economic
As far as
development,
programs go.
this is exactly what we're talking about, like looking at from an equitable lens. How do we do that and submit a plan that actually deals with looking at how do we move forward as a city? The same way that we're looking at health.
So I'm all for the message, but the Sarai Rivera equitable counter would be
from a racial lens, and so
through
I
the
hope to see
roof.
something similar to this from for an economic perspective. But this is great, and I really want to thank everyone.
Oh yeah, I guess Attell saw Mo Bergman's comments last week.
Yeah,
Just
Mo
like we
Bergman
did.
really fucking. He would fail that class.
I too, as a social worker, certainly appreciate this report.
Kay
And I'm
Toomey,
certainly also
flunking
looking
it.
Forward to the
Like she'd flunk it on purpose though.
out later this year.
Yeah.
And
Donna Clorio would
I
flunk it on
think
purpose.
One of the things
Yeah,
as we continue to move forward, that this chip is more focused, it's more solution focused, and I think that
there's my chippy.
That's what we're moving towards, right? We're looking at policies.
There's my
equity
chippy.
Policies. We're doing that right here in the city of Worcester. With the leadership of this council and the city administration. And as I was looking at this, I looked
Not
at
just.
the move towards one of their pillars as relates to adopting municipal racial equity policies. I just had a question to the chair, to the administration, around where are things at with the equity audit.
Damn,
that's the
Tell's
first
coming
thing
out
that
fucking
came to my
swinging.
mind.
I love
know
it.
That's been a bit of time away. Just wanted to the chair if we
That
have
was really insane when Donna said that.
latest
I've
update
talked to Africans everywhere. I see Africans, and I talk to them. I talk to every African that I see. I see someone who looks kind of African. I go up and I talk to them.
And I just assume they're African.
Diversity
Yeah.
officer has put out the RFP that we're waiting for respondents to that, for the 3 equity audits that we're doing: police department, health and human services, and the human resources department.
We get really great comments.
In the next month or so.
Yeah, shouts
Gotta
out
tell
to
you
everyone
guys.
commenting.
Guys are
That's
incredible.
that's honestly like.
Thank you.
We're just providing a forum for people to come with the heat in the comments, and I love it.
Yeah,
I've never had more fun watching the city council. Honestly.
And our various departments, our various resources that we're able to tap into. And I just wanted to kind of point out that these are community-wide change is what's being sought. When you think about mental health needs, you think about the folks who are challenged.
Jimmy's like, I don't have a problem with the blacks. There's blacks on the police department forces.
I just wanted to
Our troops. There's blacks that are our troops. I don't have a problem with the black
reimbursement rates for mental health and human service contracts. I'm just wondering through the chair.
I'll do what I want. Okay.
Exactly that means.
Bill, please
these
do come to my
administrations.
neighborhood trick or treating as the Unabomber.
I'm gonna go to
Ms. Clark?
Donna Caloria's house and just scare the fucking shit out of her.
Through the chair to the counselor, in particular, that is to look at reimbursement rates for organizations that provide these services. Typically, they are, as you know, are not always reimbursed at really high rates. And I know this is something that Dr. Castile has talked about with a myriad of partners in the Mayor's Mental Health Task Force. But this is something that the community who totally informed this plan, which is more focused, knows and understands the need for mental health services, that there's a lack of clinicians. And in order to attract people to this field and to retain people in the field, that overall, we need to look at reimbursement rates for these services.
Through the chair.
Thank you, and I appreciate that response and explanation. You know, that's ever the challenge: retention of folks in the field of clinical work, social work, therapy, mental health. Mr. Chairman, I can't tell you how many calls I've received from parents, adults, families here in the city looking to access services. And not
Yeah, they'd sooner get rid of public comments than any of the dumb little like
and this
procedure
process, all
rules that they have to
demographics.
go through.
And the fact that that's on here, I just want to commend you folks, Karen Clark and Dr. Castile, around, you know, this very important issue.
It's like there's a whole level of jargon here that just makes the process inaccessible to people, and
body to
that's, you know, it's by design.
You know, the fact that the chip's going to be in support of police reform, collaboration, you know, public health, education.
Donna Calorio, the Rachel Dolezal of Worcester, Albania.
I can't tell you, as a child protection worker, how many young folks are trafficked right here in the city. Young folks, 12, 13, 14, 17 years old. The fact that we're targeting this is just so comprehensive. And, you know, as you think about our most vulnerable, our elderly,
Matt, you can also tweet at them until they block you, which most of them have done to me.
We know that facilities, congregate care has been particularly challenging during COVID.
Matt Wally, mask off.
Likely to want their loved one in a facility. And this is going to go a long way. I look forward to the next 5 years as how we end up in all of this. And, you know, I certainly pledge as an individual counselor, I know this body will as well, to be a part of this process, to really broaden the advocacy needed there. And I know Councilor Rivera in Public Health has been championing this for many years, and I look forward to continuing the work. So once again, a thank you to Dr. Castile and her team, and I look forward to this. Thank you.
Matty Castile is a public
Anything
servant
else?
that we don't
Just want
deserve.
to thank Dr. Castile and the whole team, Public Health Department, all the partners.
I believe that. She is
Making
amazing.
the city a better place, so thank you. We started
And
the trip several years ago. It's come a long way. And
no
we're gonna
one,
have that pretty soon. I want to thank UMass. Has been a great partner.
tell me otherwise.
$1 million donation. I appreciate that too. We're gonna have the health and equity. So
Yes, he is
Thank you.
very well aware
And,
of that.
So we're on the way. So we're chipping away, as the chip says. So
Fuck,
thank you.
Joe.
And, so we'll send that to you want that in Public Health? You want the file?
That was
Councilor
such
Rivera?
a dumb joke.
Public Health?
Oh my
Motion
God,
to
Joe
Public
Petty
Health.
bringing the
All those
heat.
favor, opposed, so ordered.
We're really
Next
chipping
time,
away at
please
the chip here.
Damn.
Get it?
I'm texting Rassicot to yell at him for that one.
The REACH program.
Get it? Because it's
Rivera.
chip, but like chip can mean a couple things. You know? Do you understand? You understand the joke? Oh my
You know,
God.
again, just want to, I think this is this was a really great opportunity to hear community, to really listen to community, and making that effort to go out and having that conversation with community about the needs that we see in our community. And
Yeah.
again,
I mean,
you know, not to sound like a broken
the whole
record,
thing
but
about
now
diverting
all the
from
social
the
services, health, and really looking at
police
how
department budget was
having these
of
inequities
putting
that
it
many,
into
and
Castile's department.
so many of us who've been around for a little bit, I mean, I'm going to date
But
myself.
we didn't
but
want to
we
hear that.
in the 80s, the HIV and AIDS epidemic. And this
Nope.
conversation happened.
We didn't want to
then,
think about that.
we began to see how certain populations and certain groups and certain
Because
races
it's insane. Public health gets like
affected, especially when you look at
maybe
racism.
a million
So here we are, fast forward. with,
versus
you know,
like the
2020.
police department spends $1 million on like
And some of these
fucking
similar conversations,
horse
it almost
feed.
feels like you're living in some sort of like universe that you're kind of going back and forth and not really sure of time.
Yeah, they spend $1 million on fucking rubber bullets,
Being
tear
put in
gas.
plan and really moving forward. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about these reports and the work that's being done is that they're not just kind of doing lip service, but they're actually putting together a, you know, working, putting, you know, coming with, coming together at the table, being inclusive, but also coming up with the plan and how they're going to measure. How do we know that we're making an impact? How do we know that it's making a difference? How do we know it's not just lip service, right? That it's just because it sounds good and this report looks good and it makes us look good in the city.
Oh man.
This is a really important, this is a
And
really important.
Sarai does do some good work, but the irony of her saying we need to make sure this isn't lip service.
And I think it really shows,
Please.
I think as a city, you know,
Please.
Telling on herself.
that
Yeah.
we, you know, that we're moving forward, that we're not, you know, that we're trying.
The
that we're
queen
trying to
of
do
lip
the best we
service
can, and
says
really
no
trying to
more lip
push
service.
ourselves to even do even more, even when we think that we have done all we can. How do we do more? Because it's just not enough, right? And so I think this is.
Wait, I need
I'm
to. I
really
haven't
excited to
seen
be
Kate's
part of this
fit yet.
conversation. I'm really excited that we're moving this forward, and I really appreciate again everyone involved, and I love the collaboration, that it's not just one-sided, which a lot of times, often that's how those conversations had. And then we couldn't really move forward because really who needed to be there weren't there. So I really appreciate the inclusiveness, and I think generations to come will be able to just say, as I'm talking about having to see what happened during the HIV and AIDS epidemic, the generations to come will be able to say, wow, after this, you know, and before that, before the pandemic, we were looking at this REACH grant and we were having these conversations, you can see from 2015, that we can say, wow, we were part of I was really proud that my city took these initiatives, moved this forward, had this conversation. And as a result, we see this, we see these positive results. That's what I'm hoping to see years from now, that we can look back and see that we really made a difference. And we're not looking back with regret saying, you know, we knew it, but we didn't know what to do. This allows us to actually put forth a plan and actually activate, as we've seen already that happening. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, again, just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. And Heather Ramirez, good to see you on this and all the partners we have. And again, we'll just keep on plugging forward, and we have a great community. It's a good community response. So I want to thank everybody who participated and the young people too. So thank you very much. Send it to Public Health?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Yeah,
I
you
think
can't.
we said
You
one
just
more
you
public
can't
health
touch that
item.
police budget. God, the police. We got to do that. We got to do this for the
recommend adoption
police
of an ordinance to
budget
solicit
hearings,
bids for the contract for the service to manage the
because
fitness
that
center
is
at the
brutal.
Worcester Senior Center. You ready, Gary? Okay, that's going to open up in March, and so we have motions to
Fucking got him. Got him.
Toasted his fucking ass.
Fucking Joe Petty. Fucking roast.
Florio.
Yes.
Council King.
Gary Rosen.
Yes.
Councilmember Carlson.
Yes.
Councilor Rivera.
I'm gonna miss Gary Rosen, I think, because he's just there to hang out.
Councilor
Right? He's just there to have a good
Russell.
time.
Yes. Councilor Toomey.
Yes.
He just
Councilor
loves
Wally.
being
Yes.
there.
Mayor Petty.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, Attell, remember when you bullied Gary Rosen into being actually good on the bus issue?
Here we are in 9.3A, recommending the adoption of a salary ordinance amendment to increase the hourly rate of snow customer service representative when assigned. It's that time of year. Councilor Bergman.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know if you want to do A and B together because my comments will be directed.
Sure,
to both.
we'll do B with that. Recommend adoption of salary ordinance amendment to increase the hourly rates of snow inspectors, snow supervisors, and winter operations coordinators when assigned.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's no secret that I've often questioned the efficiency of having the plow operator.
God, start your
inspector,
comments in a new way. There's no
all
secret
seemingly
that.
doing
No secret that.
I do understand the rationale behind the recommendation for the increase, and I understand. I have no issue in general with making sure there's parity amongst employees in a particular department. So I'm not going to oppose this, but I will say that it seems to me that we should be focusing our attention. We can do both on where we're at with respect to snowplow operators. The cost of gasoline has gone up approximately 1/3 since last year. And we've always had challenges since I've been on the council attracting snowplow operators because our pay isn't necessarily as competitive as some of the towns or the Massachusetts Turnpike. That doesn't mean that we
That's
don't
how.
do well.
That's how
Doesn't
Bill
mean that
Bergman's gonna open up his comments when
snowplow
he comes
operators
out.
do a good job. And I would say I'm on the record.
Now
for
it
saying
is a
that
secret
last year's
that I've held for many years.
exceptionally well, and I attribute a lot of that to the new commissioner. And it was a very average year, so it wasn't attributable to less snowfall. But I do think that, and maybe the optics aren't as good as I'd like to see them. Here we're giving raises, and we're not really addressing where are we at with respect to how we're going to have a full complement of snowplow operators. Given
He
that
has
the
to be concerned about
cost
snow
of
removal.
gasoline is
It's all going to melt down into his
high.
layer.
And we're not necessarily as competitive. So I'll have some questions on the next council meeting, some items that'll make me feel better about moving forward on this. Again, I won't oppose it because there are other parity reasons that I think it's deserving of approval. But I also still question and never really got an answer I've been comfortable with on the separate number of equipment snowplow operators that work for the school department,
Unbelievable.
not the city side of the snowplow budget.
And I do believe that people would
So there'll be more questions.
people
coming from the
succeeded
others.
in bullying
As
him to
said,
take
it's
the
that
bus
time of year.
too.
We all hope for
I remember him
modest
talking
or
about that.
minimal snowfall. I think the predictions are somewhat conflictory as far as La Nina and El Nino and all those types of things. But at the end of the day,
The only
I
bad
thought
part about
last
him
year's
taking the
snow
bus was
operation
when he
well
got
done.
really
But I
scared
do
and then
have my
tore the
concerns
bus
over
entire
his,
bus apart and
multiple
then threw it into
levels
Lake
of doing the
Winsake.
same job, and also the cost of gasoline and where we're going to be at this coming year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Look at
Thank you.
Candy in
Just
the corner here.
curious, Mr.
She's like,
Commissioner,
I'm
is,
Candy Merrill
how we
Carlson,
doing
and I
with,
have no
drive-ins
idea
and
what's going on.
this? I know it's probably early still.
I
but
get up
Candy-
here
since you're here,
and I say what my husband
I
wants
see
me
the
to
state
say.
sign on the highways all the time.
I'm Candy Merrill Carlson. I'm the sad lady from Inside Out.
Honorable Mayor,
Nice,
councilors,
nice.
good evening.
Yes,
Everyone is
that's a
now
meme
in that
right there.
line to
Oh my God.
advertise. We've advertised, we've hit social media. You'll see
She
ads
says
going out in local
a
papers,
single
whatnot,
word
looking
tonight, then we
for
should be able to
plow
get a screen
drivers.
grab.
Yeah.
It's still early. It's only mid-October. Those in the business are still worrying about what they're doing day to day. Probably
Oh, I was
construction
meeting with
related
somebody.
activities. They haven't switched to get into that snow mode.
and
You see, typically
they said
from November 1st, you see
that one time they were
an
watching the
influx
school
of folks,
committee
and then they'll
when Donna
come
Calori was on the
in,
school committee,
all the way up to the end of
and
November,
their son
unless a
texted them and went,
snowstorm actually
"Why does
pulls
Donna
out of the weekend,
Calorio look like
and
she's
then they
always
come in.
been freshly struck by
To the
lightning?"
council's points, points well raised.
So look out for that one
I did
when we get to that,
go
because
through last
it's true. It's so
with
true.
any operation,
She's always like,
any seasonal operation. We look at, what went on, what we did right, what we could do better, always seeking to see if there's additional efficiencies to be had. So I'll take any comments and criticisms and certainly
He drives around in a
explore
big
ways of doing
yellow
things
duck car.
better.
Makes sense.
There always can be ways of improving the service. So.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good luck. And so we can take those A and B collectively on a roll call. Roll call.
on a roll call. I love it when he says that.
Yes.
Roll call.
Yes.
Like he turns into a little sports announcer. He's watching the ball game.
Rivera.
Yes.
Council Rose.
Roll call.
Yes. Council Rosen.
Yes.
Council Russell.
Yes.
Council Toomey.
Yes.
Council Wally.
Yes.
Mayor Petty.
Yes. 9.4A, transmitting information communication relevant to the topic of design review and the potential
Ooh.
roles of design review.
Well,
commission.
well.
Dr. Rose?
We got a special
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
appearance, everybody.
First, I
Just
just want to
one
thank
second,
Peter
come
Dunn, our Chief Development Officer, for
I'm
a
gonna
very
give him a second.
thoughtful and detailed report.
Jump himself in.
The whole idea around the Design Review Board was born out of this concept that when developers come into the city, when they show us the initial plans, that initial plans translates into being the final plan. In some cases, that hasn't always come
Yeah, I thought
together.
Shaun Rose doesn't come to
I
things.
appreciate the thoughtfulness.
That's what all
of
the
report.
mailers in my
I
friggin'
understand
mailbox
that
have said.
and reading it that we need to really look at our zoning regulations and some of our design guidelines, and that
No,
there's
it's candy.
slow
It's candy.
process for assessing the regulations and guidelines as it relates to doing a design review board. So I'm satisfied with this report up to
He's
this
taking
point.
long
I'm glad
enough.
to see that
Hi,
there's
Shaun.
momentum, moving
Hello.
forward. I did
What's
have
up,
one
Shaun?
question
Welcome to the
through
party.
chair to Mr.
What are we
Dunn,
talking about
if
today?
That's okay.
We're talking about how we're going to unibomb
Mr. Dunn?
city. Just kidding. We're not talking about that.
For humor, for
Yeah.
humor, for humor.
Parody. Parody.
Uniglitter bomb.
Uniglitter. I'm the uniglitter bomber. Whoa. Oh no. Oh no.
It's but you spelled bomb BALM.
Sure,
Ah.
through the
Get
chair,
on this
I'll
party,
actually
too.
nominate Steve Raleigh, our Assistant Chief Development Officer, for planning to speak to that. I think it has something to do with if we did want to look at the zoning
There it
associated with that, but I'll elaborate a little bit further for you.
Beautiful.
Thank you, and through the mayor. So exactly that, I think that one important piece is developing the guidelines themselves.
Yeah, my name is Steve Raleigh, and I actually don't work for the city of Worcester. I work for every developer from Boston that does business here, and they just kind of keep me at City Hall.
How elaborate it is and what the scope and scale is.
Gotcha. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That satisfies my question.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, I
Councilor
tell you
Russell.
right. Design review would be really good. I read through the design review fact sheet that was provided in the agenda, and I can't really tell if this one has teeth or not.
You would like to answer me. Where is the threshold on these type of projects? Are we looking at everything, or are we looking at certain size buildings, or rehab buildings, or just new buildings?
How is George Russell going to turn this into self-dealing?
That's exactly what I'm. the first thing.
George Russell goes, how is this going to impact my real estate company? I just want to know how this is going to impact my real estate business before I agree or disagree with it.
So it's just like site plan review. Which
Can I still be a slumlord, or
projects are subject to the
I don't really feel comfortable with the design review board for my triple deckers that I paint once every 15 years.
I can't. Devin's asleep. I'm not waking him up, Jessica.
So through you, Mr. Chairman and Mr. Raleigh, the bottom line is this is.
I guess I have to sign off. I guess I have to sign off.
No. We can just look at the pumpkin pictures over and over again.
Oh, that's true.
In your office or Mr. Dunn's office.
The one Brianna made is so good.
Through the chair. So we are.
That's interesting.
We anticipate that the recommendations would involve changes to the zoning ordinance
Ooh.
that would enable a formal design review.
As a way of giving the planning board itself more teeth.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any
Thank
teeth?
you. Okay.
Any
just wanted to
teeth?
thank you
Yeah,
for the
right,
point. I want to
right.
Thank Council Rose for asking for this. I think this is a good idea and long time in coming. So.
What's also interesting is that no one has talked about it on the floor, but the design review board would require a zoning overhaul. It's in the RFP for this. So like, if the right people are involved, we could do some really good stuff around single family zoning and opening up neighborhoods for more density and cheaper housing. But that's not going to happen because
mandate, but when possible,
that would be
highly encourages
too cool. Yeah.
I just applied to be my district's be on my district's the representative for my district's planning board.
Oh, cool, cool.
I think me doing the show is going to negate me from getting the job.
Bill actually threw his hat in the ring to be Lord of Trees, Lord of the Tree Commission.
Is that under Forestry?
It's an army that he's gonna raise under.
Trees are ents.
I don't think we've heard an update on that plan, so through you to the administration, to the manager, if we could have at some point where that plan stands, I think that would be helpful. But looking at the policy report,
That's good.
I'm glad that there are some interim steps being taken.
Oh God!
And once he pops, he can't stop.
Sidewalks are
There's my son.
Damn it!
Aw, cutie.
There's asphalt.
That's him. That's us watching this meeting.
Matt Wally, you wouldn't get it.
Important step, certainly for our neighborhoods. And the other interim step that this plan is going to take is having to do with street trees. A couple months ago, we saw a lot of
Matt Wally would be like,
residents when we're looking at replacing sidewalks. Some of the
people online are saying I'm the Joker. Must mean I'm pretty funny. I think so. I certainly think so.
I certainly think so.
Love my humor.
These people really love my humor.
Traction when that Worcester
does a crazy smile.
Thank you. Hearing that, we'll go to Public Works, and I just want to thank Council Wally for suggesting this. I think
this is the Twitch comment version of kissing babies.
Yeah,
so
right. Thank you, Attell. We are cute babies. You're right.
Thank you.
Next time is transmitting information communication over
We
to
appreciate you.
Transportation Advisory
Cute
Group
unibabies.
and support implementation of complete streets in Worcester. Council Wally.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Looking at this report again.
I'm Unibaby.
No, I'm Unibaby.
Who bring a tremendous amount of knowledge and
Yep.
expertise to the table.
Yeah, that's a huge problem. Me and Attell actually did some work on that together one time. I went out and did a story with Mothers Out Front. And the gas leaks kill shade trees like nothing else. It's just like if there's a gas leak under it, the methane just starves the roots and they just keel over and die. Ah, Attell, come on. You've lost.
Wow.
You have lost my vote.
I was about to move to your district and vote for you.
I can't vote for you anyway,
And it has to do with
but you've lost it. I do get to vote against Candy Merrill Carlson. So that's cool.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Joanna Hampton Dance is actually like, it's super slept on, but good politics. She's a police reform
Absolutely.
candidate. I don't think that she's going to do very well just because of how quiet this election has been.
Sure.
But like she has good politics.
Right on.
Yeah, I think if if you're in that district, I would absolutely look into her. She had a lot of really amazing things to say last summer. I was very, very impressed by, like you said, her politics and a lot of her ideas. And it's a bummer because you're right. I just don't think, unless there was a ton more engagement, I don't think she can break through. But
yeah, and also. This is an interesting thing that I'll get into when I cover the district races in my election guide, but no forums for them.
No.
And you want to think about why, and you want to think about Candy Merrill Carlson's connections within the Democratic Party machine or whatever you want to call it. And
does traffic light signalization come into
why are there no forums?
Pretty crazy.
I'm not really sure, but if it does, can we look at that going forward? And
why did our local labor board
so we'll send that
endorse
to Public Works. All those in favor, opposed, so
right-wing
voted.
psychos and no one else?
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Communication of the fall leaf collection program.
Yeah.
Okay, November
Imagine if
1st.
Worcester had a slave.
And,
They built the right wing.
The weather turned pretty quickly this week, so who knows? So we can file that.
Good anecdote.
Those in favor, opposed, so ordered.
Sean, he told one of the worst jokes
Information
of all
communication
time.
of the residential resurfacing program.
Earlier.
Yeah, they were talking about the community health improvement plan. It's called a chip. And he goes,
Commit that to the
all right, well, we're just going to keep chipping away at this chip. And I was like, fuck, dude, come on.
He looked around like
Rassicot takes the whiskey bottle out of his desk, puts it on his
right.
So, I texted Dan. I was like, gotta tell you, I hated that chip joke. And he just wrote, good God.
ordered. Okay, we are on 9.8A. Transmitting information communication.
Yes,
of the
Joanna
urban
Hinton Dan
forestry
supports rent
master
control.
plan. Council Wally.
Really good on affordable housing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
She's
Before
a
the
great
change,
candidate.
I
It's just
asked
like
for an update or a renewal of
Yeah, make some noise for her in the next few weeks. I mean,
the deck is stacked against her. Like
Yeah,
for real.
but-
What? No forums at all. No chance for her to air her policy differences with Candy Merrill Carlson. And it's like
policy or a plan isn't as good as getting the community.
it's because Candy holds the deck. You know, she has all the cards.
Street Commission, I think.
There's no
Councilor
framework
Rose
besides the
leadership
Democratic Party to
we can have
do
a plan,
anything in
but if the
Worcester.
plan
So
doesn't have the right guidance, if it doesn't have the right public input, public steering committee, it's not going to be as strong as possible.
Tough luck.
So I am glad that this report is coming out in conjunction with the recommendation of forming that.
Of course,
tree
Candy
commission. I
didn't
think that's a
show.
Great idea.
yeah,
So
she doesn't
looking
have
at
to
this,
show.
Process for the urban forestry master plan. I think it's
Worcester is a candy-free zone.
urban forestry. You know, I grew up on Burncoat Street. I saw
weren't
the impact of the Greendale-
I
Get
thought
sad.
Rose and Cipro were supposed to have their own debate.
District 5.
That is on Thursday, I think. Can anybody
Oh, right.
correct me on that?
Yeah, no, it is. I think it is Thursday.
Yeah.
We'll see if Cipro shows up. I think he. Rumor has it he denied the invitation.
Feedback from the community.
Ah.
Consultant.
Shaka.
It's a great consultant.
Well,
Look forward to this process.
what a
in
fucking
conjunction with the
asshole.
Tree Commission,
Well, because he doesn't go to things where black people are at them.
urban
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
He's afraid of getting sued for
Parks and Recs.
being
Council Wally.
a psycho to them.
Okay, those in favor, opposed, so ordered. Next is.
Cipro is
recommended-
coming.
Oh,
okay.
amendment to
Thank
the
you.
city's Organizational
Yeah.
ordinance to create the Urban Forestry Tree Commission. Council Rose.
I'm just gonna go and be like,
Thank you,
Rick
Mr.
Cipro's a bitch.
Chairman.
He's a bitch. And tempt him into like losing his cool.
Never
He will,
thought.
too.
Oh, absolutely. I never thought I'd be excited by reading the sentence "Cipro is coming."
Concept of the urban. I'd also like to thank my colleagues for their support of my order of this tree commission in August. I've had the privilege of learning
Oh, okay. This is
so
why.
much
This right here is why Cipro called in earlier. to
about
support
Oh
trees.
yeah,
this.
hold on. Let's see this.
I've learned so much from our tree experts and root steward from our years of working to replant and maintain urban trees. I've come to better understand the values of trees in our everyday lives from our local tree experts like Kathy Krieger, Deb Carey, Evelyn Hurwitz. I believe experts like them can only enhance our approach. to
Cipro was
trees.
just like,
Confident we can
I like the tree idea.
the
Good
efforts
job.
of the trees in Worcester, and I'm hopeful that we can continue to mitigate the
I
reduction
promise not to shoot
of
or slap
in
any
our
trees.
rapidly, developing city. I'm very excited about this prospect and this proposal, and I really look forward to it coming to fruition. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Fink.
Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Commissioner Rob Antonelli.
Oh,
And
okay,
thank you,
so-
all
Well,
trees.
great idea, Council Rose, and the last week I've heard a lot of compliments on this from the community. So, I'm sorry, Council King.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I want to thank Councilor Rose for his leadership in this, on this.
Well, the globalists.
We have had some conversations about it, and, you know, I think there's.
Rick Cipro, what are your thoughts on the globalists?
Government only can do so much without partnering with folks in the community. And, you know, I don't
Yes.
know a lot
Yeah,
about
he's
trees
working on it.
I am going to apply to the tree commission,
I've received phone calls from.
and I am going to be strong, authoritarian left.
Certain
I'm going to use every tool at my disposal
you know,
to just
folks who are calm,
be tyrannical
failures.
about
That's
the
additional
trees.
Eyes on.
We used to be Tree City of America.
urban environment.
Yeah, true.
There's signs still up bragging about it.
Yeah. We got to cut those down too.
Yeah.
Well, no, the gas will take them down.
You just got to keep the trees where people vote.
Challenges as you walk around
Yeah.
the city.
Mo Bergman puts up a bunch of trees 2 weeks before the election.
Yeah, Mo Bergman tomorrow is going to be like, it's really great to get out here and just plant trees all around the city, planting trees.
Then he chops them down and makes nail files out of them.
Not just make us healthier, it's going to make us safe. And
This is actually good. That would be a great question if somebody just baited.
Rick, one more thing before you go. Is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. still alive?
How it works,
Mr. Mayor?
I'm not quite sure.
He'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, brother.
Other places, it's sort of advisory, but
Mr. Cipro, could you finish the sentence? Where we go one?
We go.
Great partnership, great order. And I really look forward to how
Does the term adrenochrome mean anything to you, Rick Cipro?
Forestry division will be working and intersecting with these folks. The other thing that
Rick,
I want to mention,
I heard that Joe has been
folks who are
harvesting some child blood.
He needs it to grow his tiny mustache.
Him and Sean Rose are using it to beat you in the election. Kid blood.
The Worcester City Council globalists.
It's all happening, folks. It's happening in the basement of the Boys and Girls Club every day. Every day it's happening.
The motion is to advertise.
Joe Petty is running a child blood harvesting ring out of Newton Square Pizza.
I was going to say nerd.
Mr. Rose?
Yes.
Mr. Rosen?
Yes.
Mr. Russell?
Yes.
Mr. Toomey?
Yes.
Mr. Wally?
Yes.
Yes. Next item is transmitting information communication road to the cable license renewal process. We're going to send that to public service. You get 2 months. Okay.
Do you guys like my name tag this week?
Dude,
All those in favor?
I'm really
Pornhub
pulling for
t-shirt.
you for school committee.
Last week it was Cougar Lover.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I'm working on my own sex ed curriculum.
I'm being corrected here.
I work on it every day.
I'm going to submit it to Vinyenda. All right, it's just my browser history.
An organizational change, so it has to go to MO first.
It's pretty good stuff. I mean, I got good taste. So.
Those in favor, opposed, so ordered. And the motion is to reconsider this.
Dude, the lines at I Love Frankie's are so long because he just posts his L's online. He just posts his losses all the time. He'll be like, "Oh, I love you, Worcester, but I ran out of pizza boxes for some reason, so we have to close today. But come back next time and you'll get your pizza in 3 hours." And everyone is like, "Woo! I can't wait to get my pizza in 3 hours. Tastes like Papagino's."
Yes.
It's an amazing story. It's an amazing. I love Frankie's. Is an amazing story.
We called once to see how long the wait was going to be, and he answered the phone just saying, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I know you want to order."
Hey, I like
people love it. They love it.
Guys, I forgot how to do pizza today. I'm trying to remember. So
the city's private street conversion program.
Yeah, that was wild. This was a wild story to tell.
Council Russell.
Wait, what?
Chairman, first of all, I want to thank the
who put?
administration
I can't
for,
remember who put up the
coming
comment.
back
I
with
didn't
this
care.
item and for all the hard work. I
that
know the manager,
somebody
the
was
entire team, the law department.
he was
public
door
works,
knocking at someone's
and,
house,
financial
and they said that they were
put
supporting a
into
tell, and he
and I
just
me getting it to
commented
public
on
works,
how
discussion and
what
how
about her looks,
and
and
I understand and,
said
and I
that
appreciate
his
that.
wife wouldn't approve.
Thank the
Like
manager for even
it was a wild.
keeping me
I
in the loop in the process of some of the things.
wild.
Damn.
Just
along the
wild.
line.
I want to see if I can
That
find
guy's
But,
totally off
Chairman,
his
when
gourd.
this does come to public works, I would
Yeah.
like some details.
His whole
Like some Mike
platform.
Pence shit.
about the,
His
the
whole
numbers
platform is like,
involved.
Yeah, I got a little bit of tired of
could be a real
reading
big
Tom
deal.
Clancy novels on my leather lazy boy. So I decided to run for office.
Because
And
Clive Cussler inspired me.
we have folks that
I'm
are
running
lifelong
for
residents of
office
these, homes and they don't wanna
because
leave, and they
I
don't
was
wanna
a cop.
be stuck with, you know, a 10 or 20,000.
No further questions.
So it ends up being
Patel,
something
I was thinking about running,
when they're looking at
but I was
these
too
things.
attracted to
We're
Sean
able
Rose,
to,
so I
you know,
didn't.
let them live in the house
No.
as long as they want to live in the house. And then when the house is
Your
eventually
wife would not
transferred,
approve, Sean.
have it paid.
I was thinking about running for at large, but George Russell made me an offer I couldn't refuse.
Number, the threshold number, because
He
at
gave me one
60%,
unkempt apartment.
of the 47,000, which is the median.
He said, "You
income,
keep
I
this
believe
up,
it
you
is,
live here for free." And I was like,
that,
"Oh,
that comes
all
out
right.
to be 28,000 for income.
All right, George.
And
You have a
if
hard
you're a
bargain."
homeowner,
My counselor
and you
deals in
get
fishes
only
and fishes
28,000,
only.
that's
Look
why
at that
I-
walrus, mother.
folks would this really
I
for.
love it.
And I'd like
George
to see
Russell
the
is
numbers
actually,
as come to committee
if I were to like
and
rank
what
all
the
of
financial
the
impact of
city
city was
councilors
and why that
objectively, he'd
threshold
be like
was
number
set
2 or 3
at that point,
because
if you just
he
picture it
will
for a moment,
actually
if someone
like
makes
take a stand
28,400
sometimes
and change for income,
and like try
take
to
off
exert
about
his political
5,500
will in any way that is
taxes, take another
material,
1,500 off of
and
insurance, take another 600 off
that
for a water
is
bill,
hard to
take
come
another
by.
1,000 off for
Yeah,
heat.
I've always wanted to just make fun of him because look at the guy, but he actually is a
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
decent guy.
He's a decent guy. He's not like
Going to be good.
he wouldn't be on my all-star team if I was able to
that
pick it,
threshold.
but he's not bad.
No.
I would like to see
For
the
what we
threshold a
have
little
currently.
higher. Not
Yeah,
against
right.
65
Low
is
bar, but he's
would be a
okay.
number, but I'm just wondering if this is going to.
Uh-oh.
Plus, look at him. He's so cute. I
Yeah,
want to pet his
his-
cheek.
His
Come here,
suit, makes
George.
it, his suit makes it look like he's telling me that the casket's over there.
And I'd also like.
Yeah, I tell you, you're right. George did ask very good questions on the
If
ballpark
any of
financing.
these streets that are private.
He
are
like
in the target
actually
areas
cared.
for the COVID,
Who
relief
is my
fund,
all-star team?
that some of those might be. able to
Dylon,
benefit from some of-
Dylon, 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 and Dylon.
I welcome it in committee and I thank you for the hard work. And I hope
Spit hot fire, DeVille.
Spit hot fire.
Thank you. Good report. And we'll send that.
Can you quote that? And he's canceled. So can you quote that anymore?
Oh, shit.
Public Works.
I just canceled myself.
Favor? Opposed? So
Again.
Again.
18A-B.
I made the heinous crime of thinking Dave Chappelle is a funny comedian.
It's no, you quoted from before 2016. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, okay. You're right.
9.29A.
That's nice to hear.
Relevant to the fiscal year 2022.
Yeah, I mean that's like what a district councilor should be doing.
What you should be doing, exactly.
MO. Good job, Mr. McGurthy.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like Cipro's trying to make Sean Rose like it's like national politics for a representative, but instead it's a district. He's making city politics the national agenda. It's like he's the Trump card, but in city.
Yeah.
Oh, we have to certify the funds.
Also, Sean Rose severely fucked up.
Thank you. And,
by
motion to certify the funds.
like when Cipro did that bad faith attack against him for like voting to defund the police department, which was obviously wrong.
Yes.
Rose came out and said, I didn't vote to defund the police department. I approve everything the police have ever asked for. Just making him look like a feckless asshole to most people. To capitulate to a right wing that's never going to vote for him anyway.
Oh, I like this.
He literally, he should have just said, "I did the right thing," and I defend my vote.
On a roll call.
And then you can have the conversation about how then you can have the conversation about how the chief asked for it and Cipro said he wanted it and all that shit. But just say defend the move first.
Yeah, right. You say my record speaks for itself, and that's stupid.
Yes.
That's wrong.
Yes. And Mayor Petty.
It's crazy.
Yes, next is the salary ordinance
yes.
on
I
amending
think
the
we
salary
do
ordinance
need to
of
play this game.
August.
We definitely need to play this
2019,
game.
Okay, all right, you're right,
protection,
you're right.
Services, law enforcement, public
So
health,
the
of
mayor,
social worker clinicians, health and human
Hmm.
services.
he's going
Joe
to dress
Petty-
as the cowardly lion.
Gumby.
Council Bergman.
Yes.
Council Gloria.
Yes.
Gumby.
Council King.
Joe Petty is Gumby.
Gumby's pretty good.
Brazilla.
Yes.
Council
Yeah,
Rose.
Gumby's really
Yes.
good. What's a costume that requires your head to be on the ground the whole time? Because that would be
Yes,
convenient for him.
11A,
It's so heavy.
George Russell, Pringles guy. We've already discussed this.
Yes,
Yes,
that's
yeah,
100%.
yeah. Mo Bergman's going to dress as a human man.
4 votes.
Gary Rosen,
Council Bergman.
Always Sunny era, Danny DeVito.
Council King.
Yes.
Jess, to be fair, Tubi's going to wear blackface because she was too busy licking all the boots. It's just
But then she's going to be like, no, this is showing, I'm showing support.
Yes.
She got too much shoe shine on her face.
Oh, I like
It's not blackface.
Donna's Chris Columbus is pretty good.
And the city of Worcester does hereby support the state legislators.
And she'll think it's-
Oh, wait, hold on. I need to listen to this part.
Of
Sure.
knowledge of the city clerk and the board of elections commissioners to withdraw the state legislative districts.
This
for the
re-precincting
next
shit
2
is wild.
years.
I was doing interviews all this week about it. It's crazy. The city's
Mr.
stepping
Chairman.
into another lawsuit, like hard.
Last week,
They're
when I
just
held
literally
this,
violating state law. By the
prior
way they're
to
doing this.
any, to the final vote, I guess, from the election commission, it was prior to the clerk being able to engage with the redistricting folks on the state level to any significant degree. Just wanted to first just ask through the chair for an update on where we are today as relates to last week. Chair, the clerk.
We love it. We love it, folks.
Through the chair to the counselor, at this point, we've worked with the state state redistricting chairs, both the Senate and the House side, communicate them our local approved map by the Board of Election Commissioners. So that's where we stand.
Thank you. Through the chair, I know one of the concerns that I had was that I wanted to make sure that this process played out. And we know that the legislature had passed a bill, the governor had signed the legislation into law that the state would go first and that the city would go second.
This is what Worcester's not doing. They're trying to draw their maps before the state draws their maps. And it's just in blatant violation of state law.
Split districts and what have you. So if we can get a specific update on where we're at and what the work that has been done with the stakeholders at the state and the redistricting committee. Through the chair.
You want to report or you just want to speak to?
asking the clerk.
Mr. Clerk?
Through the chair to the council, I can get your report back once the maps at the state level are finalized.
Okay, if you could, is the conversations you've had,
Pussy.
those conversations that you can discuss?
Through the chair to the council, at this point, nothing is finalized at the state legislature level, so I can't report to the body.
Okay, through the chair, was the state receptive to what you were advocating for?
Through the chair to the council, have communicated to them that the approved maps of the Board of Election Commissioners, and so far they have the maps, and I think they've been very receptive. And once the
Lying.
maps are approved, then I will know for sure.
Thank you.
He's lying.
This
You
entire
can hear it in his
process
voice that he's lying.
is one that's very important.
They've been
I wanna give
receptive.
those to our state legislators who have advocated on behalf of our folks here and on behalf of the city. I know that Representative O'Day did a lot of work in trying to work with the city clerk in making sure that things match up and that it was conveyed to the stakeholders.
Christian King told me that Stephen A. Smith is his role model one time.
See, I was going to say he should be the crying Jordan meme.
Yeah.
And that alignment was necessary. Through the chair to the clerk, if you could share, I know we had talked last time about multiple split precincts.
16
What's your
split
understanding,
precincts.
as to where we
Not good.
are in that process? My understanding that there's some more public meetings that are occurring, but if you could explain through your conversations with the principals involved in the House
Yes,
District
put that
Committee,
comment up.
where the state is in their process.
That is what I'm looking into, and I'm not there yet.
I was going to ask.
To the council, my understanding is that the state is in the process of
It's
still taking public input.
Do they know? They know, right? Are
they
they
have
like,
to know.
they're doing it. Are they doing it to like create precedent and for something we don't know about yet?
Final approval, similar to what the Board of Elections.
There's so many
Commissioners
moving parts to this story that it's hard to tell.
And if you could talk a little bit about, I know there was some meetings scheduled on Thursday and Friday of last week. If you could share what those meetings were and what came out of those meetings.
Possible.
Through the chair to the council. So we've had conversations with both the State House redistricting committees as well as the State Senate redistricting committees to convey, kind of the growth that we had as a city, and then to convey.
There's some Bill Galvin
kind of
nonsense
direction.
going on here too.
Are other cities having this issue too? They're getting smaller or bigger?
And
I'm not sure.
Was those folks, were they?
But I know that
receptive
Bill
to-
Galvin was against the law change that the state redistricts before cities re-precinct.
Through the chair to the council.
And Bill Galvin
the
is a
conversations I've had
fuck.
with
So.
both respected bodies.
My old neighbor.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, he used to live down the street from me. I used to
I
watch
do
him
wanna-
water his flowers in his underwear.
Last week it was
That was Sean's sex ed program.
This process,
Yes, that was it.
which
It was
a little bit
essentially abstinence.
happened as a result of our unusual situation here with the pandemic. And this particular order, on the face of it, the only challenge I have here is, there's an aspect of this resolution that indicates that complete reversal of the traditional process would lead to unintended consequences and disruption. I think that, what I expect and what I relied upon is the clerk being able to engage with folks. And as a result of that, we're moving in the right direction. My conversations,
100%.
on the
It's
state
very
level,
complicated.
are that they're very receptive to the advocacy by the city, by the clerk, and that things are lining up quite nicely. And again, our state legislators, our senators have been pretty good and pretty responsive as well. So, again,
And it's
applaud
made triply
engagement
confusing,
clerk.
quadruply confusing by
and it
this
sounds
lausuit,
like,
which I agree with,
confusion
that
is going to be
the
gone at this particular point. in
school
time.
committee has to move to a district system
This
because like 4 of the 6 school committee members all live within 3 blocks of each other.
The city has addressed the issues. The maps, as I understand it, based on my contact with folks in the state.
And it could require a
they
charter
aligned.
change.
I wanted to just mention a couple of
That's big.
about the state's
It could
process.
require a charter change.
The state's process,
Which
has been very
I would
This
like.
council is, I would love that, but this council is
making sure that our
totally
minority
unprepared
majority
to
districts
manage
are
a
properly
process like that.
represented.
Like
I
just
know
wildly
that
unprepared.
Even here in the city of Worcester, where we'll be going.
I have been doing that for the past week.
One
Yes.
majority minority district.
Charter
to
change would be
3.
a great thing. Plan
My
E
understanding
sucks.
includes Representative Donahue and LaBeouf
Yeah.
area, and also Representative Keefe is going to become even more of a minority majority district.
Oh, hold on,
and
this is
that's
good.
been based on
Yeah.
shaping of the state. I think, we don't want to get, too involved in going against legislation. We elect our elected officials here in the city to make law. That's what legislators do. And I certainly support this process. This process continues to work, once again, with the advocacy of the clerk. And I don't think that there's a need for this particular order at this time, Mr. Chairman, and my motion would be to file it.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Council, Merrill Carlson?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Given the fact that the process won't be done until the end of the week, I would like to hold this item.
Okay.
Okay.
We need 4 votes. Council Wally?
Yep.
So this is the second week it's been held. That just means they delay the conversation till then.
Yeah.
Our city clerk did during this process. It was alluded to earlier that it wasn't.
What double conspiracy board
Don't have
pointing, getting all like this?
tremendous amount of trust.
What the hell kind of coalition is Candy Merrill Carlson and Matt Wally
Multiple hearings, the election.
backing
held meetings where they
this
had-
resolution?
So again, I just want to rise to thank the clerk for the work he did.
That the resolution basically says that the state has to honor Worcester's maps as drawn.
Yeah, I think he did a good
So you have the
job.
District 2 and the District 5 counselor filing a resolution being like, don't change the shape of our districts.
Council Bergman?
Yes.
What the
Council
fuck?
Correa?
Matt's
No,
not
what
even.
the fuck?
No.
But Matt's not even with 5 anymore either. So what's the matter?
Council
Right,
Rose?
right.
No.
Yeah.
Council Rosen?
True. Good point.
Council Russell?
Yes.
Council Toomey?
Yes.
Council Wally?
Yes.
Please vote for me. I have gout.
End of the
Oh
meeting.
my God. When Kate Toomey had gout, that was the, it's okay. Making fun of somebody for
I'll
like
set them.
a
So,
medical problem is not really cool.
But a pirate medical problem.
But like, she hammed it up so hard. She would walk
Yes.
into city council every week back when I used to have to
Thank you,
sit
Mr.
there,
Chairman.
and she would just go,
Just
"Ugh,
wanted to ask.
it's the
administration,
gout."
Yeah, like she
The
just
gout.
got back from Afghanistan.
Enforcement up on Millbrook.
She's an incredible woman.
Received several calls this week here, and interestingly enough, they're asking for speed enforcement at night. So it's after like 6
I
o'clock. at
asked
night.
for
They
speed
have,
enforcement at
a
night.
lot of,
So I can
taking
ticket.
I
don't know. That was bad.
Hey, you're the musician in this group, bro.
Big swing and a miss for me. No one bats 1,000.
I just want to comment on the essential workers that showed up today. As you know, that was unanticipated. Oh, can you hear me? The essential workers that showed up today. I don't think that they were on the agenda. It's unanticipated. I'd just like to make a formal motion that this body supports the city administration being as inclusive as possible to our transportation managers and teachers, aides, and those folks who are here today. They may very well be included. I don't have all that information, but I'm sure the city administration is very sensitive to the work they do. And I know firsthand as a child protection worker, the work that those folks did with our youth, the work that they did transporting folks. And I know you know, Mr. Manager and Mr. Mayor, you've been to those shelters, transferring folks to and fro, and really at the height in the beginning of the pandemic, being out there for us, shoulder to shoulder with our first responders, shoulder to shoulder with our kids and our families. So anything we can do to be as inclusive as possible, would like that this body supports the administration continuing to do just that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Send to the manager for consideration.
And other such
All those in
things.
favor, opposed, so ordered. Okay, motion to adjourn.
I'm just trying
All
to
those
help
in
him with
favor,
the Stephen A.
opposed, so
Smith
ordered.
costume.
Bang that gavel, Joe. Well, hey.
Take that tie off, Ed.
That was unproductive of a meeting, but interesting. And this is the second straight week that we've seen the tension between Candy Merrill Carlson and Christian King on this issue of re-precincting continue. And that whole situation is so fucking sketchy, and I really don't have a
Yeah, I can't wait to
clear
learn more.
answer of why, but I'm going to try to write this week an explainer story that gets people to the point of being as confused as I am. Like,
yeah, I really like I just don't understand
being like
what
productively confused. So I've had a couple. I talked to Jordan Berg Powers. I've talked to Corey Brisby, who is knowledgeable on this issue. My computer's about to die, and I can't figure out how to get the charger to charge. 1 second. Hold on. This is
I'm gonna drop the
okay.
link.
I'm back in. Cool. But okay, so basically, this is what is happening with this. The city drew up its precinct maps already. It has them, and it wants the state to honor the precinct maps that it drew. But earlier this month, the state passed a law with the intention of more sort of transparency in the districting process, that the state has to draw its districting lines for representatives and Senate seats before city halls and town halls across the Commonwealth draw their precinct maps for local elections. And Worcester has basically just said, well, I don't give a fuck about that law. I'm going to draw my own precincts anyway before we have the final district layout from the state. And the election commission rammed that through in a split vote last week. And it was like a 3-2 vote, rammed it through, approved the map, approved the local precinct map in direct contravenance of the state law that said you can't approve your precinct map until the state has approved its district map. And I had this put to me the best by somebody who was like, do you remember the panhandling lawsuit when the ACLU said this law is grossly illegal and we're easily going to win a lawsuit? And Worcester lawyers like knuckled up and were like, nah, we'll win. And like, lo and behold, like 3 or 4 years later, and like a massive settlement and a waste of everybody's time, they had to just get rid of the panhandling law. Well, we're walking into the same exact situation where Worcester's just opening itself up to a massive lawsuit from any sort of group that cares about the democratic process and about districting and about equitable districts and precincts, because they're just not following the law. They're not following the law or even the spirit of the law. And that's made doubly complicated as to why they would do that, because they're changing the school committee to a district system as opposed to all at large.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be something going on there that is making them want to be sketchy. But even the people who know the most about this issue I've talked to
don't know. Yeah.
They don't know. They just, it's either Worcester being sketchy because it can, and that's how we prefer to do business, or it's Worcester actually having something to be sketchy about. And it's unclear. But
yeah.
It was a struggle for me to even get to that point, just talking out loud, explaining that issue. And I think this is happening with like no public insider involvement at all. And it's kind of sketchy. So this week I'm going to try to get something out that like explains this whole issue, because it's very, very weird and stupid. And like, it feels unique to Worcester in that way, that we would be creating such a problem for ourselves like this, when we could have just followed state law. We could have just followed the law.
Well, I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, we could have just done that. And
yeah.
Instead, we're doing some other really sketchy shit. So
they got ahead of themselves, and they like that they got ahead of themselves. And now they're like, well, maybe it can still happen, even because we already did all this work. I don't want to like do the work again.
And that's the thing. Like,
Ew.
is it the thing about that? They're trying to buy an election cycle out of it. Like they're trying to buy more time out of it. Like I don't understand. Like
No, because this is a change that would affect the next
next one, anyways, right? Yeah.
10 years.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wouldn't affect
This
like
one.
the one coming up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but maybe just like the panhandling thing, it's like the lawsuit will drag out, and then they get to keep their map even for a little while.
But that's the thing I don't
Either
get.
way.
That's possible. Is that they are willing to spend the money on the lawsuit to just keep that map going
Yeah,
for as long as they can.
as long as they can.
That's what like with the panhandling lawsuit. Like
what's
as ghoulish,
mesothelioma?
You ever know mesothelioma?
I don't know what that is.
It's it was like a commercial all the time about like getting
you get it from breathing in asbestos.
It's a type of cancer you get from breathing in asbestos.
Oh yeah, yeah. My ceiling leaks goop onto the floor.
Oh, you have
George Russell, your landlord. The panhandling lawsuit it's like as ghoulish as it was. It made a certain amount of
I'm
sense.
self-conscious about my ceiling.
For them to fight it because for some people it was politically like motivated or like expedient
they got
for
voted
them
because they voted for this bill.
Yeah, and it didn't matter that they knew they were going to lose. That you just hold out to try and win another election on it. But like this isn't like a culture war move.
Yeah,
no, the closest we got to this being a culture war thing is when Mo Bergman said all that racist shit last week. But
thank you,
that was so.
Thank you, Maine South Mom.
That was so buried in a long and hard to follow conversation that I don't think that's going to pick up any traction. But yeah, he was mad racist last week, and I don't know. And even the people that I talk to that really know this issue and are really involved in like the nuances of precincting and districting and that part of the democratic process, they're also like, I don't know. I don't fucking know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. It's so stupid, you know? So
yeah,
I am definitely going to make the header image of that post, the Charlie from Always Sunny conspiracy figuring it out thing. You're like, why are they being so dumb? Is it for is it just because they're dumb, or is it for some reason that's sketchier than just being dumb?
I know. Is the real answer that you're just like they're just idiots?
And like honestly,
yeah,
probably, yeah, probably, yeah.
But
if that's
with all the conversations that go on behind the scenes, there are smart people that work in City Hall that could tell them, hey, we're gonna, this is gonna fuck us. Like, I don't understand what in this, like you said before, like Candy and Matt Wally teaming up for this. What's the angle there?
Yeah. For real.
Those are not bedfellows, if
No.
you will.
No.
I don't understand, like, because they're two people that are only doing things that are politically expedient for them. And I just don't get the angle on that. Like, what is? I mean, if he's running at large now, what does he care?
Right.
Unless he's worried that like changing his former district will change his turnout for an at-large bid.
Right. I don't know. Or he has his successor from his political house that's going to run against Attell in 2 years.
Yeah. A lot to think about.
Much to think about. But yeah, I think we should leave it there. That was a really fun stream. And thank you to everyone who tuned in with all the heat, all the memes that came out of this.
Some great
Kenny Merrill
stuff.
Carlson is sad. I love it. I'm the Unibaby.
Bill is Unibaby.
We gotta put sunglasses on.
I am the Unibaby. I am Unibaby.
Oh, look at that one.
Boy, oh boy.
Red Rocket.
Jesus Christ. Somebody for humor, accidentally hit John Manfredo with your car.
The Red Rocket.
That is. Let me tell you right now, while no one's listening, I'm gonna fucking get that guy. I'm gonna get that guy. I have until January 21st. I'm gonna fucking get that guy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It needs to happen.
Oh, an old favorite.
Matt Wally.
Classic. One of our classic bits.
All right, guys.
The Matt Wally universe. All right. Yeah. See you guys.
We'll see you guys soon. Thank you guys. Follow
See you all next
Bill's
week.
Substack.
Yeah. See you next week. And
check
subscribe
us
to
out.
my newsletter so I can get an apartment that doesn't give me mesothelioma.
Yeah, can you guys, if Bill's making like twice the amount of money he's making now, imagine how much more shit he can stir up.
Yeah, I would hire somebody else. We'd have two. We'd have two of me. Two of me.
Two Bills. Two Unibabies.
Two Unibabies.
Thank you all, everybody. We will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.